They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a lover's fight without an alibi. It took my innocence without an alibi. Smoking gun, you got me on the run. We know that will come. We're up till dawn. But how can I hide it without an alibi? It's a lover's fight without an alibi. Took my innocence. I can't wait no longer. I'm playing with the monsters. Everything that brought me alive. Oh, we're all like monsters, playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a lover's fight without an alibi. It took my innocence without an alibi. Getting lost in memories, the surface deeper. Want it all surrounding, feel it shining. Shining through.
Hello everyone.
Step one.
I don't want to steal your thunder.
Step one, already tripping each other's feet. Hi everyone, welcome to today's games. We have a bit of a longer stream today, and I am happy to be joined by Jacob again. Oh, wrong direction.
Hello. Yeah, it's been a while, my
Been a
friend. I'm already tripping you up. I'm not used to you. You have matured a lot, so now you're doing the intros instead of me.
Yeah,
They grow up so fast.
the good old food combo is back. Cheese and Shrooms.
Oh, yeah.
It's been some time. But yeah, we have two exciting matchups coming up today. We have Verax Lasins versus Boyz, which is Division 5, and we're going to be looking at their first game. I am hearing that there's some issues with the tournament being approved, so that the game's being approved, so we might have to wait a while. That's why we've held on with actually starting up the stream.
Yeah, I mean, it's always... I love how I've been gone for like, I don't know how many months, and I'm back, and it's like nothing has changed. It's still just, oh, we're gonna start at, 18:30. It's like, no, now it's pushed a bit. Oh, we still have to wait, and yeah. That is always the same. I love
Always
it.
the same. Like, there's even LEC and other broadcasts. They're more on schedule, true. But even sometimes they're like, game started at 18:30, and you're sitting there 18:45, and they're just yapping about, how their days went and everything. And to be fair, we get the practice, so later on we have solutions for those problems.
True, but we need to get better at, entertaining the public, so to say. So it's good practice, Everything matters, Shrooms.
True.
You can't just chill.
Now, if we look at our teams, first up we have our very own Verax Lasins. And as far as I understand, they're actually the cause for the delay, because tournament admins are busy approving their sub. So hopefully we get it resolved soon, and hopefully for the teams as well, because they have to be anxious waiting before their games. It is the support that's being changed. So we have support and feed today coming in.
Yeah. So that's always going to be a bit of a tricky one. I mean, support is such a vital role, right, in any team. So swapping that out can be quite detrimental. It depends on the team, though. I've had supports in the past who've just been silent, go I'm here.
Yeah.
Not too much.
Usually,
but I don't know how it is for Lasins these days.
yeah. Usually you have the support as the main shot caller in the early mid game, just because they have a bit more time with going around the map, warding, not really focusing on the CSing and everything, right? And in that ward positioning space, they also have a better overview of the entire map. So they're in most cases the driving force of your macro early game, and swapping that out, especially relatively late before the games, can be detrimental if you haven't practiced much.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely can. There's always issues when you're, changing up a known dynamic for something. And, on you. Some teams, they practice with subs, but in my experience, it generally doesn't happen that much. So you're stuck with your fives, at least in these divisions. And then higher up, you might get a bit better.
But regardless, from the OPGG, we have all the stars from last year. We have QEPI, Hips Don't Lie, and Leaf and Cortex all coming back. Their OPGG does not show much regarding their ranks and everything, but looking from last year, they're coming in hot. And they're also on top of their group in week 3, so they have won all games so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of... They're definitely heavy favorites now. I looked at Beef Boys. They're, they've played the same amount of matches as Lasins, but they're half the points. So it's not going as well for them. I also remember Relan, the ADC for Lasins, he posted a day or so ago, 70% win rate on Challenger mode. So
yeah,
the boys are feeling it. They're happy.
70% on Challenger mode, no matter what the rank you are, you have to be winning against teams of equal skill. And that's some good win rate. You'd go into Worlds with that win rate in LEC.
Yeah, that would be great. I wish I could have that win rate in my solo queue games.
Oh, man,
but no.
And their opponents today will be Beef Boys, as I bring up their OPGG. We can see more now on their OPGG than with Lasins. Lasins is being more sneaky about it. And they're all over the place with ranks. We have Callaway Golf on Diamond 4, as well as Silver 4 on the mid laner. But, as we all know, rank is not indicative of skill when it comes to team play. Team play is indicative of skill when it comes to team play.
Yeah, do you think so? I think that if you play on a team, you're just getting boosted by your teammates, and you're not a true carry if you can't do it yourself, It used to be a solo queue game, and now it's a team game. It's ruined.
That has been my experience, just riding the wave of the good mid laner, the good support, and you're just there yep, this is fun. But yeah, from what we can see, some interesting tidbits is the win rate on that Alistar support. 33 games, 67% win rate in Plat 2 is nothing to be ashamed of, as well as, right now, the meta has been shifting a bit towards more enchanter supports, but having that engage in the support role is always good.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more of a comfort for most teams. I mean, not a lot of teams are used to playing with sort of a range support and only having maybe like a tank jungle or a tank top that's like single engage source, because I feel like at teams they get hamstrung, especially in the lower divisions. Like, oh, what do we do? We only have one engage source, they blow it, and they kind of don't really commit on it. So many teams prefer having the Nautilus and the Alistars in that bot lane so they can more easily access fights. Or just fight randomly for no reason. I mean, whichever one you prefer. But let's at least assume that it's going to be calculated for today.
Yeah, and looking at everything, it's going to be a fun matchup. Right now, all teams are calling ready, at least from one side. We're going to see if we're getting into game. Honestly, okay, usually it's like, yeah, games are going to start at 18:30. And they start at 18:50, like almost 19 sometimes. Today, when we announced, we might have a delay, it's fairly okay. 10-minute delay is better than average. So maybe we reverse caster cursed it?
Why would you say this? Shrooms, you do not say anything with the caster C word at all, because now we're gonna get fucked.
Okay, I hope I didn't cast a curse it. I really hope. We will see.
You just let it be. You just say 10 minutes, nice, and then, or not even that. You just say, oh, we're soon to go to game. It's quicker. We're very careful with these words, man.
Yeah. We are actually in we are in game, but it's not showing in champ side, but it's not showing the champ select itself. 1 second.
All these things are happening. Every day we're gonna have new challenges. I mean, we're trying out some new software these days, and that software is still a beta version, so there's gonna be some learning curves for us.
And it took me the whole weekend to get it up and running.
You don't have the vast resources of our Swedish head production guy, Mr. Fudge. He has all the resources, all the gadgets, and here comes Shrooms on his Slovenian budget. Be like, I try my best. We're with you, man. Take your time.
Should be. There we go. Got it working. Sorry for the bit of a delay, but we are at the end of draft. And I should probably swap to the scene. There we go. We're at the end of not the end of draft, end of bans, and we see Viego, Aurelion Soul, and Vel'Koz being banned by the side of Beef Boys, and Nocturne Blitzcrank. I'm kind of sad we're missing that one, and Skarner being banned from the side of Verax Lasins.
Yeah, so a lot of power picks being taken up. I mean, the Skarner is a very staple in a lot of pro play. Viego can also come up. Vel'Koz, I guess, is the support, bit of a comfort ban.
Yeah.
But then also, I lost something now.
No, you didn't.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Sorry about that. But in any case, we see Maokai and Jarvan. So junglers presumably being prioritized quite early in the draft here.
Yep.
What do you think of that?
Well, both of those are power picks. It's very hard to judge meta right now with all the Fearless draft, Nemesis draft being played. But both of them good. Engage, standard picks when it comes to all leagues. Everyone likes them. And a Draven from Hibs Don't Lie.
Yeah, Draven. I mean, I think that's a denial from Rallen, so we got a bit of a disrespect being thrown out there. What's he gonna answer in return? I would expect that they would lock AD carry to counter pretty quickly before it gets banned. Swain can be bought, but it's a bit of a flex pick. I like.
Mm-hmm. Now, I have seen Swain Mel being played in the bot lane, and that's something that Draven will struggle a bit against, but this Swain can go also into the mid lane nowadays, as well as in the top lane. So it's a very, very big flex pick. Still,
I don't want to see Mel again, man. It was not well executed last time I saw it, and I'm scared that Jinx. Jinx we like. Jinx is safe, good AD carry, good.
This is our Mr. Coachman Dudemeister loves the Jinx, and I agree with him. It's always good. It's good in early, it's good in mid, it's good in late. The only thing that can stop it is someone going onto it, which this Leona does.
Now with that Leona lock-in, I'm expecting them to now focus banning supports. We see Braum, ban this disengagement, ban the Braum, ban the Janna, just get this Jinx as unsafe as possible, because Draven, he wants to run at you. But if the enemy support has slows, like Braum, like Janna, very good picks, you could say what I want them to pick if it's open, it really fucks up Draven. He has a really hard time, running forward if someone just presses slow buttons on him. Yeah. Now, there are still other options available, but we'll see what they end up going for.
Yeah, you speak of the Braum, and it is banned out immediately by the side of Lasins. Maybe they're listening in. Maybe they are just smarter than us. And we're going to see what their second ban is. And Malzahar are interesting. And there's the Lulu coming out. So two very, very good enchanters for that Jinx. Now, there's obviously still more, such as Milio, such as Nami even, but they're not as effective as straight protecting that Jinx.
Yeah, not as effective indeed. And Lulu being main, so that's the other option to go for. I think I would really prioritize Lulu here because he's good with the polymorph, but not as good as, to just pure engage. There's so much engage. So Janna is still open. That's really good. And you still have the Milio as well. But we also see the Mel hover here. What are they going to answer here from Lasins? I wonder.
Still need those two solo laners. And I love the Mundo. But no, it's actually the Sion. Okay, so Sion is very, very standard front to back champion, good engage, good tankiness, good early lane if you know how to play him, and can do so many tricks. And we're seeing a very, very, very standard front to back composition from Lasins here.
Yeah, and this does naturally mean that if the top laner is shown on Lasins, that means that the Big Beef Boys, they're gonna look to lock in that counter, and they're looking for the Shogun. So we have a Baus champion pool matchup with the Shogun Sion in top lane. That's gonna be pretty fun. I wonder who's gonna proxy more in any case, but we'll see. Now, support. This is so important for Beefy Boys. You're against full engage. You have a Jinx. He needs protection. There are two options that I might have mentioned that would be very good here. Yeah, that's one of them.
Alistar.
They go Alistar.
I talked about Alistar earlier, so it's my call. But yeah, Alistar, always good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a comfort pick as well, so I guess in this case it's very fine. It does peel somewhat well into the Leona. But yeah, we'll see how they make it work.
Please don't, man. We're casting SOL, not LEC. We can do without Yumi for a few games. And yeah, there's the Silas pick. Oh, I love that. So many good ultimates. So many good ultimates. Indeed. I wanted to put up Cho'Gath real quick. I have seen a few games played. A few teams pick Cho'Gath up, both in relatively in non-pro divisions as well as in pro divisions, because of the Nemesis draft and everyone's champions being pinched so much. It went into favor because it can also survive dives better early on with the healing it has from the passive. So lane swaps are easier with him. Now, it's interesting to see what happens in this game. It is the biggest question mark pick from my side. I like it. I love it. I think it's gonna do good. But I'm interested to see what it does in game actually.
Yeah, it's gonna be curious. I think looking at the comps, yes, you have a fully engaged comp on the side of Lasins, but they're heavily reliant on getting this Draven going. So if they get Draven going, I think they can really just run away with the game. Because on the side of Beef Boys, yes, they have some engaged with the Alistar, but they're also kind of a bit split in what they want to do 100%. They do have tanks, they can play front to back, But I am struggling to see, as you say, like how's the Swain gonna fit in? Because he wants to like stand in the middle of kind of a death ball. But if you're playing front to back, you're going a bit back and forth a bit. And I think in this case it's gonna be good because they are so low range and lasting. So I actually think the Swain is gonna smurf because he doesn't need to chase anyone. Everyone is gonna jump on him, and as long as the enemy team doesn't get fed, he won't get one shot, and I think he will kill them all. So Lasins really need to slow ball, otherwise I don't see how they kill Beef Boys here towards the late game especially. So all eyes on Rel in this game. He really needs to perform because otherwise it's gonna be really tricky for his team going in the later stages.
Yeah, and speaking of teams and drafts, who would you give it to? There's also a poll in the chat, so if chat wants to vote together with us, who would you give it to? Nameplates off and everything, just the champions.
Okay, just the champions. I mean, I'm more a standard guy. I think there's too much coin flip on Lasins. There's too many conditions that need to be filled for their comp to actually, beat Beef Boys comp. So just pure off theoretical, I would give it to Beef Boys. Now,
Really?
if you remove the Beef Boys, like if you enable the nameplates and look at the team's trajectory, I think Lasins can pull it off and they can definitely execute the comp. But if you just go in theory, I like barring just random skirmishes around Drakes. Just from pure theory, if you think about how people play their champs correctly, I don't know. I feel like Beef Boys just has that bit more safety. They're not playing on a timer. They have to give up a lot of early game, but if they don't fall behind, they are gonna be kind of unkillable late game.
I would disagree with you actually. I think
You can.
okay.
It's a free country.
So until R5, I would say I would agree with you. But this Silas picks up so many good ultimates. You have the Maokai ultimate, which is arguably the second best ultimate it can steal. You have Alistar ultimate. You have the Swain ultimate. So much tankiness, so much sustain, damage, and everything it brings will be very, 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 very strong in those mid-game skirmishes and even in the late-game skirmishes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it all boils down to if they can kill the Jinx, and I think with this Alistar pick, yes, they have Cho'Gath disruption, but I think Silas is so mobile that Cho'Gath has the silence, so maybe he can stop him. But if they have so many tools, I mean, Jarvan, Leona, Silas with all his ults, he can steal like Maokai, Cho'Gath ult, Swain ult, so he has so many tools to get onto this Jinx. So there's definitely tools for them there late game to kill the Jinx, but if they don't, then I definitely see them as being in trouble.
Yeah. As we are loading into the game, we have one small issue coming in. The overlay crashed and I have to restart it. 1 second.
And
Fun for
I
the
like
whole
overlay.
family.
I mean, it's in beta, but it's a very good, nice program from what I've seen, and it can do a lot of stuff. But it also means that it bugs when you install it, especially new PC install. It's always kinks. We apologize for this, but things always work in practice, and then you go live, and then it goes a bit fart noises, and the end. But such is par for the course. Oh. What's going on?
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear? I can hear you now. Yeah, I think your mic dropped. Yeah.
My mic
Well,
completely dropped.
yeah, that's happened. There we go.
There we
Thank
go.
you. Now everything is working. Oh, it's beautiful. I love it.
I
And now,
apologize for
welcome
that.
to game one between Beefy Boys and Verax Lasins. We're gonna have an explosive game for both of you. Both these teams are hungry for a win. Lasins wanna continue their impeccable form, while Beefy Boys needs to pick up some wins to, keep themselves in that playoff race. And we're gonna get that decided right here tonight, at least for this game one, which might be, a prelude for things to come. We're gonna swap over. We're gonna swap over to green after this first game and watch them take on DLX, I believe. And but for now, we have a bit of a standard start. We see no shenanigans level 1. Junglers just both going on top side. I mean, this is gonna be a very bot lane focused game, right?
Yeah. So this Draven has to get ahead. If it doesn't, there is some damage issue on the side of Lasins, but I honestly don't think it will be that big of a deal with this Silas pick in the mid lane, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, while Alistar is pretty weak level 1, Leona is also pretty weak level 1, so I would expect the Jinx to still have the put with her rockets, which we are seeing, but she still has to care for those Draven actions. Meanwhile, we have Cortex getting a bit of a chunk in the mid lane as we see, but yeah, the Jinx lane is getting that push, so Rellan and his little duo will have to be playing a bit more back.
As I just organize everyone in order, there we go.
Thank you, yes, that was... It will never learn. I don't know why. Like, you just go in order in the custom, but it's fine.
Oh, good ward here from Lasins, actually spotting out Mr. Potatoes going into the actual jungle. So there's also already a ping coming off from the right side there. So they know exactly where he's pathing, whereas the Jarvan side is a bit more silent or like sneaky. But the push of the bot side is into Boyz here.
Yeah, and I mean, that's really good. I mean, as you know, the Draven, he wants to have his push. He wants to control the wave so he can play aggressive and take these big chunk trades. The downside to this, obviously, is that now you're playing melee versus melee, and if the enemy is on your turret, you're also in threat of getting, comboed by the Alistar into your turret, but you also can't engage, because Jinx is quite fairly protected. So the con, if they push too much, is that they're not going to be able to find these 2v2s and get this Draven ahead, but this early game is the name of the junglers, and we already see both junglers, hovering this bot side, but with this push coming out from Lasins, this means that Scuttle will be secured by Quipper there, and he's level 4, getting full clear into Scuttle, into instant reset timing, so he's right now has a bit more tempo, but there is a window here for Potatis to find a bit of a gank maybe. He's looking here in the mid lane. No. Cortex, he's smelling the fishes, or in this case I guess a wet tree, but well, I don't know how that would smell like. Maybe he's been spending some time in the forest. Yeah, here he comes. Potatis is looking, has the flash, decides to not use it, and he's just gonna waddle away to safety. But yeah, I think now he's taking a bit of vision. They're gonna spot out quickly here, crucially, and they're gonna, with this information, the lane should be able to play a bit more aggressively on the side of Beefy Boys. I don't know, Shrooms, what do you think of these developments? But pretty, obviously, unceremoniously calm the start is, from what I'm used to seeing in Div 5 at least. I think my little co-caster has a bit of problem with his mic, so...
It keeps... Interesting. I think the program is detecting that I'm streaming. I'm the one that's operating everything, and it keeps muting me because it thinks that I should not be speaking.
Oh, well, the program likes me, what can I say?
Yeah,
it wants to hear my voice even more, but what you have seen so far? Anything unexpected happen, or just par for the course?
It's pretty standard. The only thing that I wanted to... I think I was mentioning it, but of course the program stopped me. I would have liked KiwiPie to go straight to the Scuttle Crab on top side, because he had a lot of tempo advantage, and with the gank towards mid lane failing, well, not really failing, but Potatoes took it as a sort of leeway into the top side. I think PewDiePie could have gotten that scuttle and gotten a bit of more tempo, but here we see an ultimate immediately.
Yeah, there's gonna be a bit of a fight. Both ultimate swap. It's Swaynold versus Swaynold. Which one can do it better? I don't know. We see a flash coming out from Revert and Cortex. He still has a summoner, still elects not to use it, and just a flash blown there. So still a positive trade there for Cortex. Remember, Silas has a lot of inbuilt healing with that W, so being low actually isn't too big of a deal for that champion. So that's a big sort of prio lead in the middle lane there coming out from Cortex, and it looks like Lasins, they want to use this prio, maybe look for some vision, maybe even fight. Grubs are up. This should be the focus. We've seen both supports have roamed up for this objective. Who will pull the trigger though? Top lane did not have prio though, crucially for Lasins, so first rotation is actually coming out from Beefy Boyz, and we see this Cho'Gath, he's pathing down, and with that Lasins selects to give up this objective. What can they get in return?
Yeah, this is a bit of an over strategy by Lasins. So you don't have the prior top lane. You just, yes, you want the fight in mid. Sure, Cortex forced the flash out of the Swain here, but you don't have the push top. You see the Scion telling the team, hey, I cannot do this, I'm pushed in. But here we go, fight our
Maokai is in trouble. Zenith Blade hits, stun into the flag and drag, but the smash pulverize is gonna come. And with that aftershock proc, this Alistar is so tanky, he takes no damage. Real Cortex almost get a solo ball on mid, but now support wants to go in, but there's no backup. This might be dangerous, but Maokai, the tree is falling. But there with the nature scraps just getting off, is it enough? No, Relan has joined the fight. That's one kill already for Lasins, and the Draven's gonna get a second one finally with the flash out from the Dank Frank. He's gonna be able to limp away, but that's a huge early teamfight win for Lasins.
And that's 3 kills onto the side of Lasins and the Dragon, so you get so much more than you would have at the Grubs. And crucially, 2 of those kills went onto Draven. He cashed in big time.
Yeah, and I mean, also big props to Relan. I mean, he's fighting there. He based before this fight and got his Dirk, which is just a huge power spike for Draven early, and we really saw that matter in this fight. He was really dealing much necessary damage there for his team, and gets 2 kills off the back of it.
And total gold earned extra, it was 300. So it's not actually 3 kills, it's 4 kills for the side of Lasins.
Yeah, we see that BF sword being picked up. Relan, or Hips Don't Lie in this case, is so big on this Draven.
And it is not just a trick of League Director, right? Am I seeing 2 Giant's Belt in the side in Leaf's inventory?
I believe so. I'm seeing what you're saying, and there are 2 Giant's Belts there, yes.
Interesting.
But we're not gonna be able to talk about that because Twisted Advance is gonna go on to Cortex. He's silenced as well with the Scream, but now he has backup from Leaf with his 2 Giants belt. Will he be the Giant that saves his team? The Flag and Drag is here as well. Cortex, he's looking for that CD, but he's just gonna almost escape. But now Swain is here with that Noxian Grasp and just killing and getting a free kill onto Cortex. But not much else is gonna come for it, so 1-for-1 ends up being the result there.
Yeah, all 6 members of the top side fighting around nothing really, just some vision on the top side and to deny the gank. And I think it's a bit of a win on the side of Boyz, but a very, very small one realistically.
Yeah, it's not gonna be too big. I mean, the gold didn't go over to... It went over to that Swain, but it's not really their main carry. They really need to get this Jinx ahead. You know, MajorCheese, he's saving his 0-1 down. He has 70 CS at 10, which is okay-ish, but it's still not nearly enough where he wants to be. He really wants to stay, you know, at least even with the pace of the game. Right now, he's behind of the pace of the game against a Draven comp, so... They really need to put some resources down there to help him out, otherwise they're just gonna lack a lot of damage.
Yeah, and around 10 minutes in, as we take stock of this game, it is a small gold lead from the side of Lasins of around 2,000 gold. It is not over for Boyz whatsoever, but Lasins is in a spot they want to be. This Draven has some items. He is building that collector first, I believe, and will be strong in the coming fights.
Yeah, but we often see teams getting these early leads, and especially on the Draven comp, A lot of teams, they end up throwing it for like random fights or just like maybe getting caught. I mean, what would you like to see Lasins do here to keep this lead and even extend it?
Get the Draven out. You don't care about Draven being here. This is doing nothing for you, whereas this fight here is
very good for Lasins. They just get a free kill on the Maokai, and yeah, I think that's all she wrote. It's a good kill, good punish for Lasins, and this means Grubs is gonna be on the table.
You have to think that you get them. Can Callaway Golf actually ult one of the Grubs? I think you can just walk in and press R on them. Yeah, he's gonna do that. No, actually goes on to kill by actually at the bottom side.
Oh, there's a bit of a fight. I mean, Cortex already used that Swain ult, but it's Swain ult again. You know, the Eclipse coming down from the Leona, or the Solar Flare rather, I misspoke, but the Polarize on to 3 is a lot, but Draven is just gonna go across the map, but the Jinx misses her cross map, and there's so many flashes, but on Nature's Grasp, it's coming. That's a low Jarvan, that's a nom from Callaway Golds. He gets one, and his teammate gets another, and that's all of a sudden a big fight win for the side of Boyz, Beef and Boyz. I keep saying Boyz and Boyz, and that's another.
Yeah, same man, same every time. But yeah, actually more. As
yeah, they're gonna go in, and Leona is in a bit of trouble. I don't know what this is. This is a bit.
Living up.
I guess that's why you're the sub. No, no, we're gonna be nice.
A bit of a disaster from Lasins here, because you lose a decent fight, you lose 2 or 3 kills, you lose prior on these Grubs, which interestingly enough, Boyz are not taking. They're instead going on to Leaf.
Yeah, Leaf is a bit of an extender here, but I mean, this is a bit of a mistake. I feel like they could start those Groms and probably take someone. Instead, they're wasting so much time trying to kill this Sion. I mean, he is only level 10, but
taking Drake.
Yeah, that's his tricking Drake, and Leaf stick is so long to die. He has Horde Steal completed, remember. He might even get a return kill here. Rubikov has to be careful, but the Bramble. Yeah, that's a great Bramble smash from Potatis. But Leaf, he's gonna just pick up his wave as Sion does. So not really a lot gained, even though they get the kill. I mean, Leaf still gets his wave into his passive, and
I think this is a big tunnel from the side of Boyz, because you're losing the Grubs, and 6 Grubs with Jinx is insane as a bot side fight happens.
Yeah, there's a bit of hand, you know, in there. Frank, he's a bit of trouble. He pops the ultimate now, but I think that was really late. But maybe he's trying to bait. He knocks the Leona in, but it's not enough. Adrenaline has the ult, the Axis, they hit, and that's 4 kills onto this Draven.
And while that was happening, there was also a pick on mid on the Silas here from Cortec, and now they can finally go towards these Grubs.
Turret plating will soon fall.
I mean, probably indeed, but finally the Grubs are being started by the side of Beef Boyz. They know that most of the Lasins members were committing to that bot side play, so they should be able to take it, no contest. We don't see Lasins even being aware of this so far. They've just been resetting and spending their gold, so that's another few Gromps going into Beefy Boyz. And as you said, Jinx with Gromps is very nice, or Grubs, not Gromps. Oh, I've been away for too long from casting. I keep. Yeah, it's been a couple of months.
Getting Groms.
It's close enough.
Yeah, it's a frog. That's.
But I kept doing this issue when they came out, right? I kept doing this shit. I kept calling them Grumps every game, and then I was like, no, it's Grubs. It's a new thing. Yeah, it's like it's so hard. Oh, but wait, I have to interrupt the flag and drag into the solar flare. This is a stunned cow, but it's actually a bamboozle because the Birdman is the one in trouble. But then the cow falls after, and that's 2 quick kills being picked up by Lasins.
Yeah, and 639 gold gained on this Draven is what you want to see. And this is what happens. You really want to move this Draven away from the side lane. He's wasted potential right now. He's so far ahead. You should be getting it to the mid lane. You should be getting it around the mid lane fights. You have the teleport on Cortec eventually, but here comes a dive onto MajorCheese.
Oh, MajorCheese, but one thing you can do, if you can't move the Draven, you can always move your team to the Draven. That's what Lasins are doing, and there's just nothing MajorCheese can do. We all know the pain, all ADC players this has happened to. And meanwhile, Cortex actually making the cross map, and this is not what you want to be doing. Normally it's the enemy team that makes the cross map on the top side, but Cortex was feeling it, but he's getting nommed, and he wanted to nom someone, he ends up getting eaten, and that's a bit of a good snack for the Shogun, who's getting quite fed now.
Yeah, and a bit of an overreach from Lasins. Again, you have this pressure coming out bot side. You have them making a dive, making a pretty big play, and you're going for the dive on Cho'Gath of all things on top side as that's happening, and I don't think that's the play you want to take, and they get punished for it.
To be fair, I think he was maybe trying to assassinate Maokai, who's coming up, but still, I don't think he kills him because he has quite a lot of MR, so I don't think that makes it too much better. But I mean, we see here the problem with Draven being bot, right, is you can still make a lot of plays. I mean, you see they get a lot of kills in the bot side corner of the map because then the Draven can join, but if they try and do anything, you know, away from the Draven, they will just die, so they need to move in. But that's a really great solo fair onto revert set. He's gonna be forced to pop his ultimate, but he's so tanky in Cortex, and this Leona doesn't have enough damage yet. Drellan is here. Will the hips don't lie this time? Will he do the dance moves? He is definitely trying, but he's not getting in range. He's still doing a lot, but it's still enough for Cortex to pick up 1 kill on this Maokai. Now he's getting quite low and he's taken down, but the Anti-Frank is getting the kill very fast. But now it looks like they're gonna maybe try and return something here. Beef Boys, they're looking, but Lasins, they're still full health bar. Drellan is still free hitting, and it's just too easy for him. He's so far ahead. That's 6-0 Draven now. Will he get another? He will. That's a double kill. And maybe I think focus ADC is something that needs to happen here.
Yeah.
Ouch.
But while this was happening, bot lane was taken by Jinx, and that's the 6 drops coming into play. While this was happening, a whole turret was gone. And yeah, finally, Hips Don't Lie Rellan is on unleashed onto the map, and he's in the mid lane. He's no longer bot, and you can see the damage he can dish out. But how long did that Swain take to die? I mean, I don't know how to pronounce it, but he was alive for much longer than he should have, and with the threat of Cortex's Cho'Gath ultimate that he stole.
Yeah, I mean, he was so Cortex was alive for so long, but also the Swain, right? And I think this is the problem with Draven. He one-shot squishes even before Infinity Edge, but right now he doesn't really have that crit damage to deal with these tanks. Especially, I'm worried how he's gonna deal with his fed Cho'Gath, who's gonna just stack armor. It's gonna be quite hard for Draven with his limited attack speed to get through that front line, and that's almost a steal. But good smite there from Kripke. He wasn't, you know, too nervous to hit that button, and that's Dragon being secured, and that's 2 Drakes for Lasins.
That was a good ultimate from Jinx, but regardless, a good cross map play from Boyz. You sure you give up the soul point, but you get this Cho'Gath ahead, and right now Cho'Gath sitting 5-0, suddenly also pretty big. Will be an issue on the side lane because I think he's just going to be able to out-sustain whatever Sion throws at him.
Yeah, and I mean, just keep looking at this Draven, and he's gonna have a fight, and that's a 3-man knockback coming out from this Alistar. Solar Flares come down. The Draven is very fucked. Draven is very dead, and this is disaster for Lasins. And just look at these tanky death balls. There's just nothing that Lasins can do, and that's a double kill coming over to Beefy Boys. And I'm hesitating a bit because they were so in control, but I don't know, Draven just died.
Beefy Boys, not Boyz. Beefy Boys. My brain needs to. There's Boyz and Boyz, and there's Beefy Boys. Got it. So yeah, Beefy Boys, take a good fight. Yes, you lose the Herald, but the Draven is shut down, and a lot of money going on to. But I guess you don't really want it on the Maokai the most, but it's better than no one, and it has shrunk the gold lead from 2.5k to around 800 gold, and you're in a pretty good position. This Jinx has been quietly farming up and has a whole turret to herself. 140 CS is the damage is nothing to scoff at.
Oh, I mean, she's slowly getting back into this game, and Rellan, while he's fed, he needs his items are so expensive. He needs so many things. Like, he's forced to buy armor pen now early because he's against mainly tanks, and that anti-heal he needs to get for that Swain. So now he's forced to build more turbine. He's delaying this Infinity Edge even longer, and that means he won't be able to one-shot these squishes if they ever go into range. But I mean, that's not my main issue right now. The issue is that, I mean, they're just so tanky. Like we saw that again, like the front line is very scary, and he's not careful, he's gonna die. But there's a play on the bot lane. I need to stop talking about random things, but now Lass is actually making a play on the spot turret. Shelly is gonna try and look for a bit of a charge, and she's gonna get it. Knock, 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 and yeah, turret out. Very good Lasins. Very patient play.
This was I am proud of this play. This was so good. Take bottom turret, take a recall. Honestly, this was an S tier play from them. They only so wasted and so-called wasted the solar flare, and that's it, and picked up a turret. Very, very good play.
Yeah. I think this is what I have to do. I mean, the only way they lose is if they... Oh, we have a freeze. There's no way the game ended, right? Because this happens sometimes when the game ends, and it will be a bit too soon.
No way, right? Hold on, I'm checking. This just happened. I have no idea what just happened. League just decided to pause.
Huh? Oh?
Okay. So it did not crash, it just the replay stopped.
Okay, well
It's going now.
it just stopped.
Yeah. What?
Um,
League?
okay. Hello? Well, I think this happens sometimes when the game ends, but I have encountered this sometimes, but it's very rare that it just... Yeah. Well, this is a bug I didn't hope to see ever again, but in rare cases, yeah, the game just stops. And in spectator, and yeah, I don't know why.
So I'm getting information that they're not out of game. The replay just died. I will try reconnecting.
Yeah, well, that was a blast from the past.
I'm moving us to our camps, just so you know. But yeah, it just crashed for me. I cannot get back in. Well, shit.
Well, that was anticlimactic. Well, yeah. This has happened to me, I think once before in my entire... No, maybe twice actually. Yeah, I think 2 times I've encountered this in like 5 years of casting. Where it just freezes for no reason. And it's a bug. It's rare, but it happens. And I don't know why.
Panda in chat, Emily in chat, has been happening recently. Well, unfortunately happened today. I cannot get back into the game. It is not letting me. So, unfortunately, I think that's it. For
I guess we have to
Liza.
take... yeah, I mean... yeah, I guess. Well, always fun. Like, you know...
We can do this as bootleg as it gets. So, Kevin managed to get back in. So, hello, Mr. Kevin. Yes?
Hello. Bootleg.
Wait.
Oh my God.
Can I... One second. We are getting it back. We are getting it back.
Damn. You know, gotta be prepared. You know, that's Verax crew for you. We'll always have a backup plan.
Now, this will be very bootleg from a stream, but we will be back. Hold on. Let me hijack.
Bootleg, 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 woo, woo. I have no idea how this is gonna look like as
It's gonna look
at
horrible.
all. Yeah, I don't know what you're doing, but I pray.
It's
Bad
gonna
pray.
work. It's gonna work. It's gonna work.
Pray. Ugh.
But how's the weather?
It's shit. Next topic.
Oh, well, I see. No, we are working. There are some technical difficulties here, but we should be able to get some sort of a game up for you guys, unless it happens to end earlier than expected here.
How do I... It's not letting me do this either. Property. Come on. Sorry guys. This is Oncast.
As we said in the chat, this is happening because of the League client and the spectator bug. That is now a thing. There's always something that's happening, right? But this time it's happening to quite a lot of people, so we'll have to just hope that in the future this will be fixed for everyone.
Okay, I am transitioning now. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Is it working?
Yeah,
Are we back?
we're back.
This looks so awkward for me. I see like top left of screen right now. Okay, now it's better.
There we go.
Okay. Now it's less bootleg.
Let's
But
bootleg,
it works.
let's go.
So I see blur characters running, but I see blue and red, and blue is
Just
winning
look
right
at,
now.
look
and
at
Cho'Gath
Kevin's
is big.
stream. Look at Kevin's stream.
But I thought I was. I'm so. Okay, I'll look at this. Fuck. This is the middle of a fight. I can't swap. No, I'm being bootleg. Okay, this is much better. Holy shit. Okay, so Lasins just turned around the fight, and they have Baron buff, and it's all good. And yeah, they're winning. Draven is one more death. Bad Draven. You can't die. And holy shit, Cho'Gath is fed. What the fuck?
We are sorry for this.
You're salvaging it, bro.
Thank you for Kevin for spectating the game. My game crashed, so now we are streaming Dude Meister's stream of Discord. But it works. There's camera. There's something.
Yeah, there are pixels moving, which is very nice. But in any case, okay, let's take stock. We have 3 Drakes on the side of Lasins. They have the Baron buff. They have started to push down some of these secondary turrets. They're looking to be still be in a very commanding position. They have that gold lead. Meanwhile, but these things has picked up Infinite Edge, and there's also now a raid boss on Cho'Gath. So we're gonna see what happens. Twisted advance, not enough to interrupt the Leaf. The train keeps on chugging, and meanwhile, that was a nice distraction. And now that's Drake's soul being secured for Lasins, and Nature's Grasp just being whiffed. So that's a big cooldown down as well. Shrooms, are you okay?
I'm okay.
Have
I'm
you-
just.
Are you recovered?
Yes. Okay.
You
There we
want
go.
to
I am
speak?
back. I needed to set it up fully, but I am back. Right now there is no sound as well, so we're just doing it without any audio. But yes, as you say, Lasins is winning.
No, I can. Dude, I can do audio. I can do
Oh,
like
no.
chink, chink, like dum, you know.
But regardless, we see Lasins 5k ahead. They have the soul as well, as Quartek just gets bumped over the wall. But
And Frank is in a bit of trouble. He's using the unstoppable force, but yeah, that's not enough when you're against 5 members. So he's dead. And what can Lasins do with this? They're now 4v5. They have most of their ultimates still available. And are they looking to crack some of these inhibitors, maybe?
I mean, yeah, they should be looking to end the game pretty soon. It's 30 minutes. This Jinx, despite being behind, will sooner or later get some items on behind her belt. And honestly, Lasins, like, as there's a fight.
Oh, we have a bit of a fight here. Nature's Grasp. There's so much going on my screen, and it's barely working. But Lasins just managed to get the kill. Relon's still untouched in these fights, and he's just getting stronger and stronger. And now look at Cortex with the Great Fang. He has the Alistar Ultimate 3 super tanky, and Big Cheese Vivo can't do much. He does not have the funds to deal with that Silas, but now there's just a big meatball in between two turrets, and has Lasin overextended as Relland goes down, and that's a shutdown to the Swain, and now there's no more damage to kill this tanky Noxian Emperor, and that's a bit of an overreach, as things are lagging for me a lot right now, but I'm trying.
Overreach is definitely a word for it, because I was thinking that Lasins can win the game. They should have been able to win the game from that position, but now there's no Draven. He's down for 25 seconds, and Baron is coming up soon, so I guess that's going to be the next objective, unless they can somehow pull a win out of their ass right now. But I think this was a blunder by Lasins. They should have been winning the game right now.
Yeah, I mean, the game should have been over a long time ago, I feel like, with this lead, but they just keep doing blunders, getting caught out or overextending when they don't need to. And I think this part for the course, they are a very confidence-based team, and right now, I mean, the coin is flipping more heads for them than tails, so they're winning, but if they're not careful, they might end up throwing this game, because that Cho'Gath is scary, and that Jinx is slowly getting items.
Yeah, they're still a good 7k ahead, which is what you always want, which is fine. But as we see another...
we have a random jungle fight, my man. You can't speak, because this is how we do things in Division 5. We go into enemy jungle, we start a fight, and that's a dead support. And no, that chain's connecting on the backline. And Cheese, you're the wrong Cheese. I am the major one here, and you're the minor at the moment, and you end up dying. Revert Set is alone. He was super tanky in the last fight, but he's 1v4, so he's not gonna do that now. How long will it take? Actually, how many league plays does it take to kill a Cho'Gath? That was my analogy. And
5.
Question is 5.
But this should be the end of the game. They have 5 men strong, a clean ace from the side of Lasins, and at 33 minutes, they're pushing into the base, and this should be it.
Yeah, this should be it. Honestly, if they don't end, I don't know. Can you they need to be punished for some? Wait, I shouldn't say anything, because they might not end. Please end.
They are ending. What do you mean? There's still 15 seconds on the Swain here, and they're hitting the base. This is over, and Lasins continues their undefeated streak, 5-0 in Division 5 with a victory against Beef Boys. Oh, I want to say Boys and Boyson again. Goddamn.
Yeah, that's a fun name. But GG to Verax Lasins, and I mean, bit of a bootleg ending, but all in all, focusing on the game, Lasins, I mean, they made more thumbs up than thumbs down, I would say, and they played to their strengths, and they managed to win, and they were the better team on the day, I would say.
Yes, and that is indicative of their victory today in the first game. Again, we apologize for the interesting stream experience that we had towards the end of the game, but League decided to not work anymore, and luckily for us, we have the coach sitting by in our Discord channel and was able to stream his game.
Yeah, that was very good. Thank you, coach. You're finally useful for something.
I mean, hey.
No, I should be nice. I've been like out of 6 months. I just come back and I just rain down fire and burns.
And
like I don't think the ground I'm standing on is very thick right now.
If we come back in a few minutes and Mr. Jacob is no longer with us, this is the reason.
Please, stop kidding me.
But yes, we will go into a bit of an intermission now, and we will be back, I believe, with Green against, and if you can please pronounce their name.
Yes, I can. If I can just hold on.
It is Drakar, Lyfter i Motvind.
Yes.
Yes, right. Oh, the puns. I can create.
I have no idea what that means, man. It's just it's noises.
It's good. I trust.
What do you mean it's good? You can't
It's
just
a
say
good
it's
name.
good.
Well, we're
Yes, I
having
can.
a Swedish lesson with Mr. Gal Scalar here. We're actually going to go on an intermission. We're
Yeah.
going to put up a timer for you guys. You guys will know when we're back. But in the meantime, please vote for player of the game in the chat, and we'll be back soon.
Yeah, in about 30 minutes time with
That is soon.
with green against cheese. Go for it.
Drakar Lyfter i Motvind.
I will never be able to pronounce your guys' names. Anyway, thank you, Chad, for being here, and we'll be back in a bit.
Maybe I'm colorblind. Don't know where I lost the colors. I only see black and white. Come to think of it, but it all comes back when the moon gets low, dancing in the afterglow. And when the room starts spinning and my eyes are closed, feeling like I'm not alone. 'Cause there's a ghost in the machine. I only see you when I go to sleep. I build a wall under the sheets, and when I'm dreaming that you're here with me, I close my eyes, keep us alive. Someone please turn off the lights. 'Cause there's a ghost in the machine. I only see you when I go to sleep. There's a ghost in the machine. There's a ghost in the I build a wall under the sheets, and when I'm dreaming that you're here with me. There's a chase a light, we're all in but on the go. Running for my life. Feel the light. Running for my life. Running for my life. Running for my life. Head high, we're alone. Are we taking all in front of us? Head high, how could we know it was all along on the side? We should read between the lines, and we're on the right way to go. Head high, we're not alone. Oh, we are not out of luck. Running for my life. Feel the light. Running for my life. Running for my life. Running for my life. Running wild, I'm running for my life.
And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our growlings when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. Got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding me up. Play me like a bass guitar, simmer down and mash me up. Tripping like I'm Jimmy at Woodstock. Me up, drumming
crews running around. Break down, chase a light. We're rolling but on the go. Running for my life. Feel the light. Running for my life. Running for my life. Running for my life. Head high, we're alone. Are we taking all in front of us? Head high, how could we know it was all along on the side? We should read between the lines and we're on the right way to go. Head high, we're not alone. Oh, we are not out of luck. Running for my life. Feel the light. Running for my life. Running for my life. Running for my life. Running wild, I'm running for my life. Darling, I've been tempted by the darkness, telling me that I should throw it all away. Fight so hard, my heart is hardly helpless. Find myself so desperate on my knees to break. And I hear the voice of an angel telling me not to lay down. And I feel the spirit guiding, telling me not to give up. Hold on to every promise I've been praying for at night. I hold on to every goal that won't surrender, not tonight.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Verax esports streams. I am Jacob MajorCheese Anderson. I'm joined by Gal Shrooms Scalar. The pizza convoy is back again now to bring you another Verax team, Verax Green versus Drakar, Lyfter i Motvind. And for the Swedish people here, obviously as the Verax people, we hope that we have some Motvind for our boys, or maybe for the enemy in this case, seeing their name, but it means that dragons fly in against wind. You can have the wind with you can have the wind against you, but they fly even though the wind is against them. That's the whole.
Okay, that's cool. I like it. I just didn't know what it meant.
When are you taking Swedish classes, Shrooms?
I eventually need to, man. I really do.
Your girlfriend lives in Sweden now. I mean,
yeah,
you
honestly,
have no excuse anymore.
She is. She's been studying. She's been studying Swedish for the past few months, preparing for it. So maybe I should at some point.
Yeah, well, something we also need to be studying right now is the teams that are playing tonight. We have Verax Green, the home team for tonight. They're doing quite well, from I remember, in their bracket. They won their last game.
Yes, they
I believe.
Lost one game, as far as I know, and we can see their OPGGs on screen now. We talked about them a lot. We've talked about them last week. Coming into the season, there were there were some questions, right? You had Moomin lane swapping, you had Verzeus coming back, you had the new support coming in, and honestly, it's starting off pretty well. These guys are doing very well for themselves.
And keep in mind, this is the team that barely scrims. Just like a fun thing. They are all very busy people and they just want to play for fun, and they barely scrim at all, and they're still performing this well, which is kind of. It goes against my competitive integrity as a player, but as a caster, I love it. It's just fun backstory. So they're just going off, but they're really good. I mean, I've seen Dennis before when he was back in Green last time. He was really good. His serve is really clean. Moomin is just jack of all trades, does a bit of everything, and we have Rip, who's just solid ADC, and then Fudge playing those tanks in the top lane, but now he's spamming MF in solo queue because he likes that champ.
For God no reason. Rip plays jungle a lot. Fudge now goes, being the masochist that he is, he goes into bot lane, playing Misfortune of all things. And
why?
I have no
it's like
idea,
you play weak side top. You play weak side tank top, or I guess in our games we gank him, but probably shouldn't. But he just now he plays the other weak side role. He just never wants to be like the focus. He's just like
but
the dude.
Man, at least play support to that point. Why are you doing it to yourself? This was coming from two ADC mains.
Yeah, kind of. But their opponents, Drakar, Lyfter in Motvind, or DLM, I guess you can say, Shrooms. It's easier for you. They are not well known to me.
I will be calling
they
them
are. I believe they're a new team for this season. I haven't encountered them before. Maybe they've been in seasons past when I was not a sole watcher. That could be true. But to my knowledge, I think they're quite a new team, and they seem to be doing okay for themselves. I should have the thing up, the thing closed. I love this. But in any case, so now we have Green doing very well.
They're both at the top of the leaderboard with 4 matches played and 6 points. So 3 out of 4 games won. Green is above on a technicality because their games have been completed faster. But regardless, these teams are neck and neck on the standings.
Yeah, so this is a very important game for deciding the future of the Div 4 standings. And I mean, just looking at the opportunity here of the Dragons. A lot of Tristana is what I'm hearing, but it's actually mainly Jinx games. So those are 2 champions I think are going to be priored a lot. I mean, I know both teams likes to play Jinx, and Tristana is definitely has been rising since with the attack speed cap increase and such. So definitely not a pick to sleep on. Otherwise, I see.
What I saw earlier when doing my prep work? NASA stop. NASA stop.
Susan. I mean, I see Timo. I prefer Susan, and NASA's backwards, by the way, over the Timo. But so yeah, that could be fun. But also, yeah, it's just a Kane with a big Kane. He does nothing for like 20 minutes, and then he goes bonk.
One thing you're not considering: what does Fudge like playing? The obviously his bread and butter Ornn. Then you have the Scion, the tanks top lane, the Malphite even. Scion, NASA just loves playing into that. He's just stacking his Qs, doing nothing until eventually he becomes this raid boss of a champion that he can be.
Yeah, and also I think stylistically it looks like the Dragons, they're a bit of a bad matchup for green in terms of, I mean, you mentioned that if they pick the Nasus top, into tanks is kind of free farm, so that's not great for our Mr. Fudge. And then in bot lane, a lot of the picks that are usually played, like both MF and Jinx, are very frequently played by Rip, and Jinx is probably the best performing champion that Green has, but they had some good MF games in one of their last series, but both of these champs are being played by Snake A, but he also has that Tristana, so I'm very curious to see which bot lane gets these sort of prio comfort picks. I think that is the side that's going to be stronger, and we'll have to see how the draft check out, but I mean, I just want to see Dennis on Seraph again, and then I'll be happy.
Yeah, that's honestly, I'm pretty hyped for this matchup. I think it's going to be a good game between these two players, as the teams are loading into the lobby right now.
Oh, hopefully no 10-minute delay.
Right now, it doesn't look like it. It looks very much that it's going to be pretty close. I mean, pretty close. Pretty soon. So, hopefully we no spectator bug in these games, please. That would be nice. Speaking of Cheese, can you get on League actually, so I can invite you into the game just in case?
No, I cannot. Internet will not allow me to run the client at the same time. I'm gonna move, and then I'll be back fully. But for now, we're still on budget setup here. So
budget setup it is.
Now,
we have Dudemeister coming in potentially. Okay, there we go. We have Dudemeister as a backup as before. If all else fails, his computer is good enough to run it.
Yes, we would certainly have to hope so. But it's just it's still funny that you say that his computer is gonna run it, because we have an inside joke that Dudemeister, our lovely CEO, used to have a very interesting PC. It's a bit of Verax trivia for you. That was hamster wheel incarnate. And Shrooms, you're muted again.
Damn it! Sometimes when I swap to the like his league ran at 10 to 15 FPS. Hamster PC is an understatement.
Still got to diamond though.
Wasn't it Masters?
So but I think that was after he fixed it a bit at least, because he had like garbage setup. I think he got to like close to diamond, and then he got like still garbage but less garbage, and he got Masters.
And I'm seeing ready checks in, and we are in select. It's working. Yes. First try.
Yes. Okay, champion select enter. What are gonna be the power? We need some 80 carry bans. Are we gonna see top lane being focused? Maybe Green wants to ban away that Nasus pick. I actually know what they're preparing in draft. I won't spoil it, but I saw some things, and
You have seen things.
It's gonna be spicy. I've seen things. Yes, that's all I'll say.
Ivern first
I've seen
spam.
He's been spamming this, Mr. Mimmin, in solo queue.
And it's a very strong pick. In my opinion. I love the Ivern. It brings so much. Daisy is basically a 6th member of the team. The shields, the CC, it just enables so many compositions. And the Gwen ban from the side of Green. Now, I will spoil a bit. They struggle with side laners because Fudge likes to play those tanks, and they're good death ball front to back, but the side laners, the ones that can split push, are actually problematic for them.
Yeah, I think focusing on the Gwen here is pretty good. 'Cause I believe one of the auxiliary top laners that they played was the Gwen, and they except for the Nasus. I don't expect them to play Teemo. I think Fudge would be pretty happy if they pick Teemo against him, so that's probably fine. But Nasus is still that side lane, potential side lane threat that could be picked from the side of the Dragons or DLM, and they opt with doing Ambessa. And with that Poppy plan, it makes a lot of sense.
No, I haven't cast Ambessa yet, so it's gonna be an experience for me as well, as my cat joins us for a quick look.
Aww, cat.
There you go.
I'm gonna get too distracted looking at your cat now.
You can't
Like,
see
I don't
anything
care about
'cause of
picks
the
and blast
blackness.
anymore.
Hey?
No, it's so cute. Look at it. It's cute. Oh, Nautilus. He's not cute. So, Nautilus being picked, and I knew from the comms, Green wants to play a bit of an aggressive bot this game, and they're definitely starting off strong. We know that Jinx is still open, so I think they're picking bot lane with this in mind, expecting the enemy team from go for it, betting it. But Vi, oh yeah, they're definitely expecting some mobile carry being picked here. The Jinx is up. It is, together with the MF, is one of the highest priorities for both ADCs. So one of them are going to be picked, and they're already on the side of Green preparing for it.
Yeah, and Moomin on this Vi has been. I've seen a few games of him, both in practice and on stage. His Vi is good. He knows when to go in. He knows when to engage and how to do it. And honestly, it's a power pick from them, and it's answered by the Viego in the jungle for the side of Dragons.
Yeah, I wonder what they're gonna go for here into on the side of the Dragons. Like, well, they should pick ADC here because otherwise I think the pool is gonna get stretched quite thin. And if they lock the ADC, they couldn't, but actually end up locking support, which is another option. Some people prefer support as counter pick, but that's Tarek.
That is
so really fucking good.
I love it.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
like we said this before, Green likes that ball. They like to go in, clump up, throw themselves at the enemy. Tarek loves that. Tarek is built around it, and we see the Malphite being picked up by Fudge, sort of furthering what I've just said.
So I don't know about this. They're continuing down like the identity of the comp, and they're I guess but they're already a bit countered.
Yeah.
I would say, and now I can't see anything. But
I am sorry, my Discord went haywire for a second, and now we're back.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if they want to keep. They keep going on this identity already with the Tarek options. They're just gonna double down. I don't know what you think about the streams. You could still have a chance to pick maybe some high range carries and try and do some poke, but I mean, they already picked two very engaged heavy champions, so maybe doubling down is the best option for them.
Yeah, honestly, you have to. With everything picked up, there's only backline that you need now on the side of Green, and the backline is what you're gonna get. I love the Orianna ban, but I think right now DLM have such good answers for what Green has.
But I don't really like I love the Jinx ban here because they really need to ban away like high damage hit carries. Ezreal I can understand, makes things harder to sort of, they have a lot of damage already with that Ambessa and the Viego, so safe AD carry could be picked, so that again is very good.
I disagree with the Ezreal, honestly. You have two champions that are picked into the Ezreal in Vi and Nautilus. They both have point-and-click CCs, one of the few in-game long-range CCs that can go onto the Ezreal. And it kind of negates the best, what the Ezreal really wants to do, right?
We see a quirky, MF was banned, so I guess that's one of the options left. It's also something I heard them talking about. I mean, you have some other options. You can do Kai'Sa, you can even do Twitch to an extent, depending on AD carry. But I think blind quirky.
You can always
is
do Twitch in your mind.
Yes, you can always do Twitch. I mean, it's true. He's good. What do you want? Okay, so Saya is an amazing pick. I was actually expecting to pick it on ADC on 3. And Silas, it's disaster.
I honestly, I love you, Green, but this draft I think is hard won by DLM. I don't think there's anything you can pick yourself out of this, and this Silas has Nautilus ultimate, Vi ultimate, Malphite, the best ultimate in the game, Syndra is fine-ish as well. So you have 3 amazing ultimates. You have the Zaya, who denies everything that that Green is doing. You have the the champion name's Tarek, Mr. Gems completely denying the engage. And honestly, it is winnable for Green, obviously, as any game is, but I like Drakar's composition much better in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Green have to kind of get ahead in this game, and enemy champions are going to make that extremely hard, especially past level 6. Like, the bot lane is barely killable at all. They have to do everything pre-6. They have to outpay. Like, Vi doesn't really out-clear Speed Viego, but she does have better ganks. So, I mean, Moomin has to be really creative with his pathing. And, this is going to be really rough for Green here. And, I mean, I don't know what you do here. You kind of want to commit to your plan, right? But,
sorry to interrupt you, but there's a poll in chat. So if you agree with us, vote. If you disagree with us, please vote as well. And there's only a few minutes left before the game. Sorry to interrupt you. Continue.
Oh, no, go ahead. We gotta have our votes, but I think always I vote for the Dragons. They are. I mean, the good thing about the Green is that their name is, that the Dragons fly and against wind. But with this draft, they're not really flying against wind. They're flying with wind, and I would even say maybe in a jet stream with like no wind resistance. They have like clear skies and everything. I mean, they still have to be careful though. Like they can still get caught out, and there's a lot of lockdown on a single target. So if someone missteps and they split up, they can definitely be picked off. But I don't know what you would have done with Green. I mean, I think I'm just biased. I really like the Seraph on Dennis just because he's good at it, but also like having a bit of range and poke helps a lot against like Saya and Silas and Diego. But I don't know.
I agree with you. At that point, you pivot. You pivot into the Zerath. You pivot into Corki I like, and then you have this kind of poke composition that can also go engage with everything that they have. But it's just so hard. I think there's so many things that Green wants to do that Drakar just does against. And the only thing that I'm worried about Drakar is that you have this very low range and low tankiness composition. So there is a world where Green just gets too far ahead and they start winning the 5v5s or the fights in insulation. But the side lanes are going to be the issue. You have the Mbessa as well as the Silas in the side lanes untouched. Silas has the best. So a bit of trivia before I continue. You know, it's the worst matchup for any champion in the game. Period.
No, I don't know.
Silas into Malphite. Statistically speaking, Malphite wins like 30% of his games into Silas in a direct lane matchup.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's the biggest discrepancy.
Yeah, and they might actually be swapping around to that setup. They could do that and put the Abessa mid. I mean, we have seen it. And it should do decently into the Syndra, I would suppose. I mean, it's similar to Silas much, where they have to play around that Scatter the Weak cooldown, sort of punish that immobile mage. But we'll see what the Dragons end up doing. And I mean, this is a battle for the top of the table right now between these two teams. And I think Green is the one who needs to, lift i Motvind. I'm going to do it in Swedish because I can't do it in English. This game, can they do it? Can they take their opponent's namesake and pull out a win when the odds are stacked against them?
Yeah, we'll see in just a few seconds as we are loading into the game. And we are live with Green.
We are alive.
With Green taking on the Dragons here in the first game of this best of two, second game of the stream.
Welcome to
Second game of the stream indeed, and hopefully it's gonna be as entertaining as the first one. Except the bug. We can skip the bug part. Please. Yeah. Would it be preferable in a game like this? But we're hyping up a lot, the sort of draft discrepancy here that we have, but we shouldn't count Green out. I mean, in solo queue, anyone could still win this game, and high gold still takes some time to deploy. And so Green do have a windows to really one-shot someone. They have enough CC to cheese his same one target to kill it. So what they could potentially do is get a quick pick, just one-shot one target, all their CC, and then just back out. And that could be maybe an avenue. But it's very hard with some of their champions not to full commit. So yeah, they're gonna have to play very smart around vision, very acutely aware of enemy position, and to try and force some really advantageous fights. And as we see a bit of a lane swap here coming out, more fights put mid against the Mbessa, and yeah, that's really good from Green.
Yes, I am 1 second. I am setting.
Okay.
Setting things up again, because
Setting it up indeed. Are we having issues?
yes, the program is not working again.
Fun. I mean, I miss the old stuff, it's nice. But yeah, the program should, when it works, it's amazing. But if it doesn't work, then like all technology, it's annoying.
Yes, it always is, and it should be working. Why is it not working? I'm sorry. There we go. Fixed it.
Oh, there we go. You fixed it. Very nice. And yeah, now we get back into the game. We see kind of a both junglers starting on the same side, but here we see the clear discrepancy quite effectively. Viego versus Vaya. I mean, Vaya has better gank, but look at how much faster this Viego is on his clear. He's already on his Raptors. Moomin just now cleared his topside quadrant. This Viego is already going on to his second major camp, and yeah, he's just gonna have that tempo lead for the majority of the game. So Moomin has to be really creative with his pathing. So even though I get wanting to play for bot side, he's pathing down towards that bot lane, which is very fair. He's not going to be able to do much, and he really wants to avoid this like a standard chill clear. He wants to really surprise the enemy, and especially with the lanes, well, they could have even gone top side, I feel like, because Syndra is there and not one fight, so that would have been a bit of a surprise. But he opts for a standard clear, and see if he can do something here.
We see.
I mean, Diego could also punish them.
Yeah, we see reverse swap coming in. So the gold back, they really want this matchup, and I can see why. It's such a good matchup for Sylas.
Yeah, and it makes, if they swap around too much, it also makes it hard for Fudge, because he needs to itemize, one thing, and if he can't itemize armor, it's great, He loves to build armor, he's one fight, but if he has to build Lamar against Sylas, he doesn't really like that, and Sylas is quite good into him, so yeah, he just has too much to stay in, so Morphy can't really poke him out, and then Morphy gets sad. And yeah, he's gonna struggle a lot there, but meanwhile we see the junglers is what I wanna keep an eye on. We see now with that tempo advantage, the Viego has, just full cleared, gone towards his top side. They're just gonna share Scholar Crabs. I mean, luckily for Moomin, he did have bot prior, so he's able to secure that. He's still going for a gank. There is fight. I see heads going in bot lane, and I believe that's a flash force out from Snake and Snake rather. I should say, we're not talking about the old Cloud9 ADC. Should not be confused, but that's at least the right direction there from Moomin.
Well, the old Cloud9 ADC was sneaky, so it's not really the same, but yeah.
Yeah, this is Snaky. With A, it's an A. That's my STC.
Yes. So snaky, not sneaky.
Yeah,
Yes.
Snaky. Yes.
We'll get it. Anyway, it's a good force from the side of Green, because now they can, not easily, but they can more easily go onto that bot side, because still Xayah without flash, without ultimate, is completely immobile. As an invade comes in, Moomin has the flash as well.
Yeah, he has to flash out, and Moomin, I mean, this is good proactive, good use of that template. We see level 5 Viego, Moomin is forced to respect this invade, and Sylas also getting prior, so this is really good from the Dragons. They're using this template they have in the jungle quite effectively.
Yeah, and we see it reflecting in the gold lead. All lanes are slightly ahead. Interestingly enough, even a Snake at the bot side, but Rip will be able to pick up all of these waves, so it will equalize a bit. Still, All quiet, apart from that one gank.
Yeah, all quiet so far, and this flash cooldown is ticking back up, almost going to half. So, I mean, Moomin, he really needs to try and make use of this. But meanwhile, I mean, just look at pro play Erik. He is just using this template so effectively, never stopping, never pausing. He has been able to get a recall on him, but he's just clearing already on this Drake. I mean, meanwhile, Moomin, he's trading the grubs, which, I mean, at this point, for Green, I guess is okay. They don't really want to scale into Drake being a factor. I think they kind of lose the scaling game, so going for the more gold generating objective early on is okay, but still, they don't really have much choice. This is still a reactive play coming out from Verax, and so they need to start being a bit proactive here if they want to have a chance in this game, I feel like.
Yeah, to be fair, honestly, I like this trade. I prefer grubs over Drake because it's good. Drakes are good. Don't get me wrong. They're perfectly fine. It's just you get much more benefit, much quicker with the grubs. And now it's also on a timer because you have 3 of them already secured, and you can force the enemy team, dragons in this case, into playing the way you want next grub spawn, because letting 6 go is very, 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 like, you don't really want to do it ever, because one wrong play and boom, your turret's dead. The pushing power is insane.
Yeah, I mean, unlucky for Green, they don't really have the best champions to use that pushing power. They have Corki, who doesn't historically build a lot of attack speed, and then, you know, Syndra, they don't have a good auto attacker that can really, you know, use the grubs that well. I mean, they will still be somewhat useful, but I think in this game specifically, both teams kind of want the dragon over the grubs, but I think in Green's case, they just want to do what Moomin just did on top lane and secure those kills. And he's actually doing a bit of spice. He's going to the top lane and trying to swing this Malphite Silas matchup.
Yeah,
as we have a bit of a replay.
No matter what, Malphite engage will be good. Moomin does not even have to ult there, so it saves that. But Flash actually burned from the side of Silen, and it's a good gank from Moomin. I was telling you, this man knows where he needs to be.
Yeah, very, very nice. And I love that Moomin picked up the kill as well. I mean, you don't want to accumulate gold on these tanks. Like, they're weak side. They're going to be useful anyway. So the fact that Moomin actually can pick up the kill means that he gets a bit of a lead. He can use this lead to transfer into other lanes, you know, gank that bot lane, you know, one-shot that Saya before she has any chance to, like, get Taric ult or self-ult. Now, that's still a tall order. That's still 2 very strong ultimates that are up. Taric might be a bit harder to land. Maybe you can burst, but Saya R is pretty easy to press. It's quite instant, so it's still gonna be hard for him to play, but Moomin's gonna try anyway. He goes in, the assaulted battery locks him down. The Taric ult is popped. The damage is just not there, and the ult is being popped, but lucky for Verax, they're not gonna get too punished. But Moomin is getting low, and with the Erik here, but that's the dredge line is hitting into the Featherstorm though, and that was a bit too much for Immorty, and almost a flash hook coming in from Erik. But Rip has his vault, his little Valkyrie something. Valkyrie, yes, and he is able to jump away. Thank you, Shrooms. But yeah, I mean, that was way too aggressive from him. It started off well. I think trading Taric ultimate is fine. You can do that, but then going back in when that Featherstorm is still up was a big misstep there coming out from the screen. Oh, we are not done yet though, Erik. He smells blood in the water. Moomin is getting bullied out of his own jungle. This is really bad for Verax Green.
Yeah, and this is what I was telling you about. So much value coming in from this Mr. Gems here. 2-man stun into ultimate, completely denying everything that the Vi and Rip wanted to do, and it was so hard to play that fight, and it kind of, the frustration I think led to Morty overreaching with the dredge line and then dying for it.
Yeah, I think this was way too... it was a bit overthought by Green, but I mean, they have to try stuff like this, right? As we said, they need to get ahead. They need to just be able to one-shot people, because they don't have, except for maybe the Corki, they don't really have a lot of champions that can go in and out of fights. They have to, like, hard commit once they're in, so their only option really is to split the enemy apart and try and one-shot them before the Taric ult can go down. But there, the damage just wasn't there. They don't have the items to, you know, burst one target that quickly, and... yeah, they're just getting countered.
Yeah. And I think this is going to be more and more apparent into the game, because Derek presses the stun, and suddenly there's no further engage that Green can do anything. And they also have the Mbessa who can dash around and bring this stun to the enemy team. So honestly, again, this Taric is such an insanely good pick, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the Taric and the Saya I was thinking about as well, and the Silas. I think just, you know, we are Verax fans, we're not going to deny it, but
The
DLM has done a very good draft, but I have to stop talking about the draft and praising them, because now they're looking to contest these scrubs, and 6 scrubs would be quite good for Verax, and they're gonna try and secure it. You know, the Altus ult from Nautilus is already used, but Silence is gonna steal it. No, remember, you don't flash into your team with Nautilus. He knocks up everyone, but they have flashes, that's all the better. The Taric is down! Crucially, the big invulnerable ultimate is dead. Now can they clean it up? Fudge comes in with the unstoppable force, and unstoppable is the name of Verax Green today as they sweep DLM off the map.
Yeah, this was a good fight for Green. Well played by them. I think the Fudges was not in position to go to TP immediately because of what Snakey was doing, but really, finally, the TP comes in. Good rotation from Green to put Fudge into the bot side so he can TP against Snakey who can't, and it really does show the difference in this fight as they win, I believe, 3 or 4 kills for 1 death and get 6 scrubs.
And this is one of Green's strength. They play so many teamfight comps, and it shows. Like, they're really good, you know, at macro and positioning their targets, and Fudge really knows when he wants to go, where he needs to be. So, I mean, you know, if I just want to, like, we praise the DLM's draft so much, but if you're still able to sort of pull out these wins when you're this much as a draft deficit, that just goes to show the skill of your team. So, Verax Green, I mean, props to them. They're playing really well despite the odds.
Now, the only thing is, despite everything, the gold lead is not. It is 0. 100 gold there, here or there, but you see the Zaya has a 1k gold lead onto this Corki, and no matter what, Snakey will be impactful. He picked up a few waves along bottom, a few third plates along bottom while that play was happening. And while Green won at the top side, Snakey was fine with just being there.
Yeah, he was just there, and then just raised attention. But Mbessa is now caught out, and this is exactly what Green wants. Stun into stun, but the damage is not quite there. Corki is not there. There's only 1 carry, and with that, the rest of the LM can collapse. It's disaster for Green.
It took so long to kill this Mbessa, and she's not really that tanky. She only has the Eclipse up, but there is no damage. The same Rip was not there, which his damage was not enough, and 2 kills go on to DLM, and now they're in the gold lead. They have 2 dragons and the tempo lead.
Yeah, and if you're Green, you really can't afford to be making these types of mistakes. And they got a bit of breathing room after an amazing play, but then right back in the back seat after that misstep rather. And I don't know what Rip was doing. I think maybe he was catching a waiver, but he was late to the play, and I think his team pulled the trigger a bit too happily. But they are doing what they can and what they need to do. They need to look for these picks before objective. They wanna, if they can, avoid a straight out fight against this Taric and Saya ultimates, because they're just so strong at denying the engage from Green. But this time it failed. But if I know Green, they're not gonna be discouraged just yet. They still have, you know, really fed movement. He's 3-1 on this Vi. He has 1 item completed. He's quite strong. Now I think they still need to wait a bit more damage on Rep. He still hasn't completed his Trinity Force. I think once he gets that, he will be able to provide that just a little bit of extra damage that Green is gonna need to kill some of these targets. But until that point, the game is gonna be quite just should be quite slow rather, and that's exactly what DLM wants.
Yeah, the only thing I'm worried about is that the gold lead on the side of Green is on the Smell fight. The gold lead on the side of DLM is on the side of Mbessa, partially, but mainly and crucially the Zaya.
Yeah, that's fair. The gold distribution, even though the gold lead looks quite close, I think the gold distribution tells another story and shows that DLM are actually quite far ahead, and they outscale, remember, so if you're being ahead is good when you want to be, but like if you're outscaling as well, it's just that more devastating. Meanwhile, Fudge is forced to use the ultimate defensively. He does, you know, crucially stay alive to catch this oncoming wave. But this does mean that full topside control is in the hands of DLM. But for now, they're not gonna do anything too special with it. And yeah, Shrooms, I mean, we know DLM, they want to scale, they want to keep getting these dragons, but if you're green, you kind of alluded to it, but what do you do now? Do you keep trying to look for these picks, or do you have any other options? As you don't even have time to talk, because there's a bottom with Featherstorm is already being used. TP coming in from the best side, looks like it's just going to be ult for ult traded, and I believe the depth charge has a bit of a... Yeah, no ultimate, you can't be this far off as a rock. You're unstoppable force, but he uses flash and the movement speed up. Can he juke the chains though? He cannot, and that's a shutdown going over to the Silas.
Yeah, and now the Silas picking up a shutdown, also getting back into the game. He was 1k behind on Fudge just a few minutes ago. Now he's only 400, so 600 gold gained in only a matter of a few minutes is huge. And this is exactly where DLM want to be in this draft, in this game.
Yeah, I mean, they're just getting everything that they want right now, DLM, and I mean, they just have to keep going, but they should not overreach. I mean, the enemy team has to come to them. They are in the driver's seat, they play slow. If they let green just force them into this firefight, you know, use the objectives to force them to come to you, then they're gonna be really strong. But if they overextend, they might get punished here. He gets the turret. Will he get out? Big Fudge, the unstoppable force is up now, and I think this is just gonna be a solo kill going over to Big Fudge, or maybe not. Yeah, Ambessa doing a best of things. The flash, the dredge line, will it connect? And it will! And the Big Fudge gets a kill on Motvind.
Now, crucially, still, Motvind got the turret, which gave them the feats of strength. And the boots, the feet upgrades as well. So I would say worth on the side of the Ambessa, but at least Greens get something back.
Yeah, they're getting something back, and they need to keep getting stuff back in order to have a chance in this game. And I want to be optimistic for Green, and they are doing as good a job as they can. I mean, remember, you can't be too harsh, and they are playing quite an uphill battle into this draft. The enemy has done a really great job at just picking the right champions they needed to shut down, you know, Green's game plan, but they have shown weaknesses. There are kinks in the armor, they are overextending, they are stepping up when they don't need to be, and that's when Green needs to pounce.
Yeah, and taking stock of the situation, 18 minutes in, feats of strength on the side of DLM, also with about a 600-700 gold lead, which not a lot at this stage of the game, but as we mentioned before, the allocation of this gold is more important. Now, with the dragon coming up, all ultimates up on both sides, and I believe that that Mr. Big Fudge's ultimate can be stolen right now. So this Silas is stronger than he looks. TP up, so he might be late to the party.
Green needs to be careful now. The Silas can steal his ult, but I think this is the fight that Green has to win. I mean, they have completed Trinity Force on Corki. They have, 1.5 items on Vi. They have 1 item on their mid. I don't think they get stronger relatively to their opponents. The later the game goes, it's just gonna get worse and worse. I think this is their best spot to sort of maybe get a good fight for themselves before it's too late, and they really need to make something work. And now they're a bit split up though. It looks like DLM, they're not gonna let them flip, they're not gonna take any risk, they're just gonna use this Herald beautifully and force Green to be between a rock and a hard place. Normally Green is the one with the rock as they have them all fight, so they should be in the driver's seat in that situation. I don't know where I'm going with this, but DLM picking up a free mid turret, but they do trade that dragon.
Yeah, and this is very, very well played by DLM. Oh, actually, good flash from
Rip. Good flash from Rip. He Valkyrie away from the Abyssal that flashes the Silas stolen unstoppable force. Beautiful from a Rip there to stay alive. Crucially, he is his team's main damage source. He needs to stay alive. He needs to get at that man immune also.
Snaky.
You're gonna play Assault and Battery. Snaky, have you stepped up too far? The Featherstorm is still there though, and he's just gonna, he's fine.
That's it, that's the 2 major engage ultimates out, and also Versus had to TP up. Now this is a very, very, very scary fight for Green.
Yeah, this is super risky. Versus is not there. The 2 main ultimates are used. They can't push for this, and they keep going. Now that's a double kill. for the jungler on the pro play Eric, and I mean that's a Viego with 4 kills now. This is getting so scary for Green.
Yeah, and this is such an overstep by Green. You cannot be doing this with Versus TPing top, which is fine. I don't mind it. You defend the turret and everything, but you have to back off. Your 4-man is weaker without the 2 main engage ultimates, and 2 members of Green pay the price, as well as the mid second turret.
Yeah, I think now, you know, the window is closing and closing. I mean, that dragon was honestly, I think, one of the better positions Green's gonna be, and they have one more option now, and this is gonna be the 2 item spikes on carries. We see the Syndra already reaching it. Rip has a bit more gold and stacks away to get to his mana immune, but once he gets that 2 item spike, I think like Green really needs to make something happen to get back into this game, because if they just keep you know, catching waves and even worse overextending, I mean DLM is just gonna be super happy because they're just gonna keep on scaling. They have the tools to stop any fight, 5v5 force coming out from Green, and yeah, it's gonna be really hard for Green to win this then.
Yeah, and as you've said before the fight, you had spikes on all your carries, you had spikes on movement, on Zoo versus and Rip, and still the fight didn't go your way. This was when you were strongest in this game, and now you see a 1300 gold lead for Snaky. He's getting bigger and bigger. This eye is sitting on 2.5 items. You have 1.2k gold lead on this Viego, 2 items as well, and it's so hard to fight now for Green.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Green can only try and watch for their opponent's mistake. They can never really take a 5v5 realistically in this game anymore. I mean, they just really have to look for some picks or maybe bait some spells. I mean, try hope that you can get Blippo to be a bit too trigger happy on his that turret ult, then maybe you can get a wombo combo. But until that point, I think it's going to be so hard for Green to win any of these fights, and they don't really have a split push option either, so I mean, they're going to have to pull out some of their amazing macro rotations like they did before to sort of force a 4v5 or something, because
what happens,
the window is closing for them.
What happens when Fudge starts hard losing the side lane? And he will, versus the Embessa, versus the Silence. And we can see at the bottom lane, Embessa really wants to take these fights, and she's already winning.
Yeah. I mean, this is the problem with Motvind, right? He did end up going mostly armor, but he does have to sort of split his attention between Silas and Embessa. If he builds too much armor now, yes, he's gonna be a bit better against the Embessa in side lane, but then they just put Silas against him, and then he still can't answer side lane. So, I mean, it's just super hard for Green to play the game. I think it's easy in these types of spots to sort of think, oh, X team is super bad, like they're losing. It's like, no, I mean, they're just in a position that's super hard to play. Like, you're so limited in options. I think the fact that they even ever has found any avenue to sort of stay in the game is very admirable from Green, because, I mean, DLM, they're just playing the game on easy mode, and Verax is playing like hardcore, and Dante must die or something.
Honestly, and with the dragon coming up, there is little to no vision from the side of Green here. And you can see this one lone ward is all they have, and it's gonna get cleared out now as well. No, Eric did not see this. Did he? No? Oh, they did. But yeah, with the Drake coming up in a few seconds, look at what they have to face check.
Yeah, and I think this is an option. Like, they can't really face check here, but they still have options to maybe take, like, push some lanes, get some turrets, you know, just get some more gold to get close to your power spikes. I don't really see that you should not be contesting it. This is not Drake's soul, this is not even Drake's soul point, and you're not in a good spot to sort of fight without any vision into this comp.
But still,
it's so bad, and Moomin is getting shot down. The turret ult is used, and can Green escape? Then they might be able to kite it out, and Erik has the overstep. The carries is on him, and he is still gonna end up going on. That's a big shot going over to Rip, but they still lose the fight, and yeah, I don't know, I feel like Green is a bit lost here. They don't really know what to do, and yes, they get a shot down on their carry, but I mean, it's still a well worth trade for the side of DLM.
Yeah, and sure, you might say it's not worth for Silent to ult single-handedly Lumen there, but you end up bursting down this very not so tanky Vi, and Green is just left without any devices. They're split. 3 members fighting bot side against Eric, while Fudge just ults 4 people, gets a 4-man ultimate with 0 follow-up, and they just lose the fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's so open. This is, I mean, guys, if anyone's playing, this is why your coaches wants to have a good draft, because that means that your team can still play the fight. Not really that well at all, but they have just a turret ult, so they just outdrafted, so they can just win. They're playing on easy mode. This is what that means. It means that you don't even have to play nearly pitch perfect at all in these fights, and you're still gonna win, especially if you have a gold lead. And I mean, here DLM, they're just getting the fruits of their labor, or their coach rather, you know, giving to them. And yeah, Green, I mean, they really, I know they are to have a team fight comp, but they really needs to start being creative. They can't play standard because they lose standard. We've seen it. They're trying even when the enemy doesn't really do like the perfect ults or whatever, and even miss like a Bessa ult in the beginning, like they still lose. They have to start being creative, and that's easier said than done. I think even if you had really like, you know, LEC teams in this spot, they would have a hard time winning. But it's still possible. Like they can still find picks. People can still int, but it's looking dire for Green.
Yeah, the only silver lining, Corki has caught up a bit with the Xayah, but so has the Silas with Fudge. Still, 2k gold is on this Viego. Viego is huge, and we saw what kind of a problem that poses in fight, because 3 people were smashing him, but he got a kill, he got a reset on Morty, and only when he was Morty did he actually die.
Yeah. Oh, Fed Viego is so, yeah, it's a thing. It's not a fun thing to watch, but he does end up going down, and I mean, Rip gets there's no, but now you have maybe Rabadons coming in on Syndra, I think.
Sorry,
oh, yeah.
On the sideline. This is what I was talking about earlier, with Silan just winning, straight up killing Fudge. Even Fudge ulted away. It was not even close.
I mean, I'm thinking first now, you can't really step up. You're gonna have to try and just be wave clear bot when the wave hits turret, and honestly, I would stop laning too much and just try. As soon as my ult is off cooldown, just look for something, run around the map, be crazy, because you're gonna just keep losing side lanes. But now that with him dying, that means that DLM, they can force these objectives. They have a man advantage, they have tempo advantage, but Green, they are gonna be here, but they're gonna be here way too late. That's Baron being secured for DLM, and the Moomin is just, yeah, he's trying, but not much he can do. And yeah, I don't know if you agree. I guess maybe, you know, Atakan's range resistances, so maybe they have a chance here.
Martin wanted to double dip initially, get both things at once, but I don't think Green can walk up. Cork is not there, Malphite is not there, and this is just a free take, realistically, with Muma going down. Actually, they blow the Taric ultimate, but still.
Yeah, I think Green is crumbling a bit here. They don't really know what to do, and so they are just falling one by one. And now there's a fight. Yes, there's no tackle, but they have Atakan. Rip is doing some work. He has his item. He's dealing a fair amount of damage. He's kiting back really well, but he does not almost have the goal. Fudge missed the ultimate, but they do get at least 2 Atakans, but it's not enough, and they're just gonna end up dropping. And I think, I mean, this looks like it's gonna be all she wrote. Green is gonna get it drafted this game, I believe. It's fair to say, and I'm not looking long for this world. And it looks like there's gonna be a good Motvind here today, and the dragons are still gonna fly.
Yeah, DLM came prepared with the perfect draft into what Green usually shows, and honestly commendable as well. They played it well and are in a commanding lead of this game. And we saw what happens even with Blippo not doing much with his ultimate. You still lose the fight because this Viego Eric is so huge. And when he's not the main focus, then Stillen shows up. And then when Stillen is not the main focus, Marthunden shows up. And all members on the side of the DLM are threats. The only one not being a threat is this Taric, and Green cannot deal with them.
Yeah, and I think here we see a lot of green. They're split now. They don't know what to do. They feel like they can't fight. So I mean, the players are split on what they're gonna commit for. I think Atakan is the only time where you maybe have like a 20% chance to actually win a fight because Atakan shreds resistance so much.
I don't think you should.
You can't go for this green. What are you doing? You're just gonna end up dying. And they're just watching, dragging you, taking, and then they are just dying. And yeah. Green is kind of falling apart, and I don't want to be too harsh on them because it is very hard for them to play now, and they can't really do much. But I mean, at least here, I mean, you can try and look for a pick. You know they're gonna set up for Drake, stand in a bush, and just hope someone face checks. That's about all you can do. But here, you're just walking into certain depth, and I think from green players, I've already just checked out and been like, okay, let's go game 2.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to check out from games, but it's true. This is. Actually, they managed to get a kill. They can't make a last stand with the 2 turrets, but it's so hard to play. Everything DLM has directly counters what Green has, and it's so hard. Actually, a good hook onto Sneaky.
Yeah, he's forced to use that Feather Storm quite early. He's quite low, but there's nothing left in the tank for Green. Rip cannot enter. He has too many threats in the front line to help the engage with his damage, and yeah, I think that's gonna be all she wrote. Rip, can he do something in the last stand? The carries versus and Rip, but they just do not have the stats to deal with this Viego and Bessa combo. And yeah, that's gonna be game 1 going over to DLM.
Game 1 to DLM, and well played to them from start to finish. A few blunders, a few missteps, but it was their game to win.
Yeah, and I think just, I mean, the draft was just really good from DLM. I want to commend Green for still finding some openings, despite the draft, but I mean, just good drafting from DLM, and drafting can win you games, but it doesn't secure your games, so you still need to execute, and they did.
They did indeed. And that's game 1 for DLM in a pretty convincing fashion, winning with over a 10k gold lead. With that, we will be back in just a few minutes time. We're gonna take a quick break, get something to drink, and we'll be back with game 2 in a few minutes.
Maybe I'm colorblind. Don't know where I lost the colors. I only see black and white. Come to think of it. But it all comes back when the moon gets low, dancing in the afterglow. And when the room starts spinning and my eyes are closed, feeling like I'm not alone. 'Cause there's a ghost in the machine. I only see you when I go to sleep. I build a wall under the sheets, and when I'm dreaming that you're here with me, close my eyes, keep us alive. Someone please turn off the lights. 'Cause there's a ghost in the machine. I only see you when I go to sleep. There's a ghost in the machine. sleep. I'll build a wall under the sheets. And when I'm dreaming that you're here with me. There's a ghost in the I was angry before, but I circled the drain in my mind. I can't find. Don't let the sun go down. Don't let the sun go down. I was angry before, but I circled the drain in my mind. I can't find. Don't let the sun go down. Don't let the sun go down. Don't let the sun go. Let's go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
We are back with game 2 of Green versus the Dragons, who have soared into the victory with pro play Eric on that Viego taking the player of the game. Congrats to you.
Yeah, congrats to me. It will be up on the Verax Esports Twitter and socials, so you can get some maybe nice ego boost going into game 2 here. Very well played to the entire DLM. The true MP for me was whoever organized those picks in the draft. I think not talk about it too much, but it was very good. And I mean, what I guess now we look forward. What does Green do?
Honestly,
for game 2?
you have to take a, so now you're blue side, you have the first pick, right? So you have to take a look at what the Dragons did. You have to look at Tarek. You have to look at the Silas. You cannot play the champs that you played into those two. If you do, it's just gonna be so hard, so hard to play.
I mean, I would drop the Ezreal and the Shonaban and just ban like Taric and maybe Silas if you really want to play Malphite. But otherwise, yeah, you can keep a Tristana ban. I know it's a comfort ban, but like there are supports that can nullify it very well in bot lane. So you need to. I think it just ban Taric, honestly.
I still think that the Ezreal ban was misplaced. You had all the answers to Ezreal, so you had all the champions that you pick into Ezreal, and you're happy with them. And instead of that, I agree with you. Yes, Taric, Braum, stuff like that can really hurt you, right?
Yeah. And if you do want to keep the same balance, you have to, swap out your champions. So pick Seraph, pick more of a poke comp. Like the only thing that hurts them, you can actually let DLM pick the exact same comp. They probably won't unless you first pick the same champions. But if they have the same comp and you manage to just get 1 or 2 poke champs and a bit of disengage, like they had no engage. They had a Silas stealing Morphator. That was all they had, and they had very low range. So that's the way you counter it. So definitely there are ways to, face those champions. They can leave it open if they feel like they have options, but it depends. What champion pools do they have? I know they play some poke mage, Seraph, as I keep talking about, and Syndra to an extent, I guess, but he's more control mage. Like there are picks you can pick, but it depends on your players' champion pools. And if they feel like, no, we want to play an engaged comp, we want to do death ball, it's what we know, then you really just have to ban Taric and maybe Saya, honestly, more than Ezreal as AD carries options go. I think, especially nowadays, it's just better unless you're top tier, like Challenger, then Ezreal becomes slightly better late game, like the way he just dodge around, and if you're really good with the Qs and you keep the pass up, you will out DPS. But other than that, I think Saya for most AD carry players is just going to be more consistent and easier to pull off.
Not only that, the pick into what everything green had was so good as well. Like, it's so hard not to talk of the draft disparity and actually focus on what both teams did well in the game. Honestly, there was some time where I was thinking that green had this. They had good rotations. They had good macro. They had their players where they needed to be, but it all fell apart as soon as, honestly, that relatively early game fight where Taric just denied everything at the bottom with the 2-man Q, and then it just sort of it completely laid out everything that's gonna happen in this game realistically. Yeah,
I mean, you had to pray to the gods, I think, here to win. But I mean, it was a really good rotation on the Grubs where, they put the top laner into the AD carry. I also think, though, I mean, it's a bit of trouble by DLM to leave their ADC. If they're going for Grubs and ADC still bot side, pushing bot waves, it happens. But I mean, good punish from green, regardless, using that TP advantage like that. But they needed to keep doing that, and they needed to keep, they played quite standard. They pushed waves. They catch waves, they base, they go to Drakes quite late, and they try to fight, and that they will just lose. The comp cannot fight unless they're massively ahead against these champions. And I feel like they, kind of felt like what we were emulating on the cast, like we're so heavily outdrafted. I mean, imagine you get that outdrafted, because I can just spoil it. In the scrims, this was not the draft that they imagined the enemy to play from scouting. Like, for instance, the support doesn't play much Taric, just open dodge wise, so they probably wasn't expecting him to pick it. But I think when you have such a big draft econ plus from a champ, you don't need to be able to play it 100%. It's fine if you can just play it 90%, because to be fair, he wasn't the best Taric player in that game. If you Taric man watches that, I think there's going to be a lot of problems, but he was good enough to do his job, so that's all he needed to do.
Yeah, honestly, it was good, more than good enough to do what he needed to do. And honestly, I am not proud. I am surprised with how little we see Taric, how seldom it actually works, because it only works into those kind of compositions. But it was beautiful in the pick and both in game with denying everything that Green wanted to do. And not to take credit from anyone else, all players on the Dragons played well. There were so Fudge was winning head to head, sure, but that was because of Moomin's attention and picking up a few kills in fights. And eventually the side is just outscaled. He was running around decimating Fudge on the side lane, and not only that, you had those three main threats in the front line: Viego, Obessa, and Silas unkillable.
I think now we can stop talking about game one. I think we've touched enough on the points,
Yes.
and I think like Green, we and them wants to move on to game two because we do have one other game, and
Yes.
we can still come back. I mean, they're still a very good team, and they know how to play their style quite well. And as we said, if you're Green, what do you do here, Shrooms? Do you would you prefer to just pivot champs, or would you ban out the problems and stick to sort of the mall fight dive comp style that Green likes to do?
I would say stick to it. You're good at this. You're good at teamfight comps. You're good at what, like this sort of identity that you have. So I would say stick to it. Double down. Go with what you know, and ban out the tags. Ban out the things that counter him.
Yeah, I think banning champs like, for instance, like Gwen is a good ban because it's very good into engage, but Jarvan and Tristan are engaged champs. And so I think that's something you could look to, especially the Jarvan, to maybe, leave open, because if you're picking engage and enemy picks engage, then you're kind of in your comfort zone. Then it's all about execution. And I think Green is good enough to win, that execution check, because this is what they play, this is what they know.
Yeah.
They should not be afraid to play teamfight engage versus teamfight engage, because then they should be good enough to just win out, because especially with how good Moomin plays on his Vi in some of these fights. So, I see banning engage champs when you want to play engage, I feel like it's a trap. You want to ban what counters you, not what plays into you.
Yeah, fully agree. You're good at what you do. And I think in similar compositions, so if both teams play engage, I think Green is more comfortable on that composition. So try to fight that. Try to go with that composition. Try to fight the enemy. They had good rotations. They had good macro sense. It just started falling apart when they couldn't press their advantage that they thought that they had. And that's where you want to be fighting the enemy team, not... if you're not into what exactly the Dragons showed.
Yeah, but now before you only have the opportunities to go on, and if they have practiced something else in scrims, you might not necessarily see that, because you cannot see scrims of people with match history. So, like, if they played a bunch of tag, or maybe if they didn't, they just saw the angle and they picked it. So, it's hard to prep against everything. In this case, I definitely think they could have pivoted, but now they have a new chance, new clean slate, new game. They will adapt. I know the guys. They are smart human beings. They will realize their mistakes and they will rectify it accordingly. And I think we will see a Tarek ban, definitely.
Yeah.
We'll see what they do with the Sias and the Silas. It's up to them. We'll see what they do for game two. And I don't know. Do we have a status update on?
Yes, status
how that's
update.
going?
All players are not loaded. They are in the lobby, and we are seeing ready checks from one team. So hopefully in a few moments' time, ready check from both teams. So whoever has the play button, let's go.
Play button, please do. I would like to get in the game in draft. I want to say, are we getting it up? Yeah, here we go with a nice transition. And we're in draft for game 2 with DLM versus BGX. And it's going to be a banger, hopefully. Now, where's my Tarek ban?
It has. Do you go for it the first rotation, or do you go with the second? Honestly, because Tarek is not that high of a priority pick, and it can be countered pretty well. So I would say leave it up. It's fine.
As long as you don't R1, R2 engage, you're fine. That was the big blunder, I think, from Green, is that they showed their hand. I made a bit of an analogy, like picking like Vianalt is like full engage R1, R2. It's like playing Yu-Gi-Oh with your hand showing to your opponent. It's like you're showing exactly what comp you're gonna go for. It's so easy for the enemy to counterpick it. So I think if they want, they could secure the champions, but I would prio some other picks first. Jinx is always a good option. She wasn't banned first rotation by enemy last time, so you could just pick that. She slots very well into most comps that you want to go for. It's comfort for rep, so that could be an option. But even Corki you can early pick because he's just one of the better blind picks down on bot side. So if you're gonna pick Corki, I would honestly prefer that you pick him early because he can face almost anything. So then it gives you some free counter picks, usually the top side, but I know Green wants to blind top, so maybe mid support can get some counter pick action. But we'll see. We see Jarvan actually being banned again.
There's there.
I don't like this, but there's the Taric. I think, I mean, the Trist for the comfort might have been a bit better to ban than Jarvan specifically, because again, unless they're actually now gonna play like poke comp and like play Jinx, because if they are planning on picking Jinx here, I like the Jarvan ban because, you know, immobile ADCs hate the Cataclysm, but yeah. We're gonna see what they end up going for. Garen ban.
I would have gone completely different. I would have, instead of Jarvan, I would have banned the Braum here, because again, it does exactly what you want to do. And with banning the Taric, you're also saying, hey, we're just gonna do the same thing. So the enemy team, so DFM knows that Green is going to play the Death Ball fight you team fight composition. And there's Jinx we talked about. I love it as well. It's such a good pick.
And I think here now the Jarvan ban makes a bit more sense to me. Like, it's a very good pick into Jinx specifically, and then you have to, you know, pick a support that can get you out of Cataclysm. But now that option is off the table. So this is where the Jarvan pick is very good. In my mind, I only ban it. I only want to see it banned if it's like specifically you have a champ that it counters, and this is good by Green. But then Tristana is going to be answered. I am fairly fine with this matchup. It depends more on support. Because if you pick now Braum, you could pick Braum, for instance, on Verax Green side, and then Tristana has a really hard time. So you can't jump in because you're gonna get frostbited, and this E is gonna block all our damage. So, and even, you know, Lulu, Polymorph, for instance, there's so many good supports that can just nullify Tristana jump in, and then Jinx just has free lane. So let's see here what Green ends up going for. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a support pick. They could also do top, as Ornn has been shown by enemy team.
Why we've been mentioning the Tristana so much is Snaky has been spamming it in solo queue, and it is honestly, I think, a sleeper pick because people don't forgot how to play against it. It used to be a bot laner, now went to mid, and then was like this kind of in a meh state realistically, and now people don't know how to play against it. They don't expect.
And we have a Mel.
And then Mel also picked up, and then Ornn to remove Fudge, and he's going to answer with that Scion, which is going to be a tank slapfest in the top lane.
You know, so Mel could, you know, be decent to the Ornn ultimate. But Braum, thank you, I love it. It's so good into Ornn ult. It blocks Tristana. This is a great pick. I got it. I was a bit skeptical on you guys, the Mel, but you restored my faith. You picked Braum. This is so good. I mean, this is kind of what DLM did to Green last game, but reversed. They pick engage champs on R1, R2. And so the Green can just answer with disengage. And now they pick the Lulu. So they could sort of pivot because Ornn's engage is a bit conditional. It's not as hard commit as a Maul fight. But now they don't really want to go engage anymore because Braum is going to stop that quite well. And I think Green now, they're in a much better position already this time around.
Cheese is happier than on his wedding day when it comes to this Braum pick, honestly.
I haven't had my wedding day, so hold your horses.
But realistically, it's such a good pick. I love it. Honestly, I am a big fan of Braum. I think it's such a good champion, especially in the lower competitive divisions where this death ball composition is such like it just works. It works so well. Many coaches just tell the players to play this death ball, team fight, win. And that's what we see Green doing as well. Braum denies everything. Love it.
I mean, it's really good. And I mean, we see there just the bans on secondary. Aurora being banned. It's a very frequently played champ by DLM's mid laner. But meanwhile, Malphite and Wukong being banned. So Vi is still open. Now into the Lulu. Vi is not as good, but it is comfort. And Verax Green, they do want to look for some engage tools. I mean, Braum is very good at disengaging, but you do want to have some re-engage. But in that case, I would prefer like a Maokai or something, honestly. Because Vi's engage is she goes in, and if the rest of your team doesn't want to go in with you, you kind of just get exploded and died. So Vi is looking a bit scary here if I was Verax Green, but we'll see what they end up going for. The first pick, though, is gonna be DLM. Sneaky, they have mid and jungle left to pick.
Oh,
I don't know, Sa.
Okay, it's an engage. It's good. It's it's what Zach does. But yeah, I agree with you that Maokai pick right now for green is so good. So you would have Maokai jungle, Sion top. You have such a good front line, such a good composition into what DFM wants, and the Mel and Jinx to do damage. There's a Sion.
I wish I was open here. That would have been great. But yeah, they picked the tank top. I would say Poppy would have been another option as well to block the sack, but I think just want more front line.
I like Sion better. Poppy has its use. I love Poppy as well, but I think the Sion that just beef, the health, the double Giant's belt is insanely good in the front line right now. And
it actually it provides you a bit of a split push pressure. But what are Diana? Okay. I
am not that big of a fan of the Diana. It brings more damage. It brings more magic damage, but I would have liked the more tanky option as well. But Diana is still good. It has its targets. It has the Tristana, Lulu that it can blow up, and it's a threat onto the backline of wow, and an any pick. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm like Vi was problematic here because polymorph, and you can't really, if you ult in, you're probably gonna die. Diana faces a very similar problem, but the worst thing about Diana is, I mean, it's not as big of a problem when she goes in, especially if she goes tanky build. She can go out tanky, attack speed oriented builds, and so then she can survive for a bit longer and do quite good DPS even into these tanks, so they can't just tank her for days. But she doesn't have good gank pressure, right? And the only gank setup Green has is Frostbite. And I don't think that's going to be enough against like Lulu Jinx to, reliably set up ganks. So I think, yes, Green has more options this game, and if Jinx gets untouched, they will still win out on fights, but they can't really, they have a really hard time accelerating this Jinx. So, and there's a lot of threat onto her as well, so this is going to be tricky for Green. It's a much better draft, compared to last game, but it's still...
No, this Diana,
it's hard.
In Fearless draft, the Diana has risen in popularity a bit. In the second, third game where you have the jungle pool pinched a bit, so it's good. It's not bad, but I have a hard time seeing how it's gonna work, because that's the only champion that goes in. Sion can be held back and just chill. Jinx, Mel want to do that. Braum wants to do that, and Diana is kind of the only thing that just says, I go in, ult. And I'm afraid she's gonna be alone.
Yeah, and the two junglers that were good here would have been like Ivern Skarner, but they're both banned. I mean, smartly by DLM, and they would have been really great. And you need some sort of jungler here that kind of can play a bit in and out and can peel, either go full peeling or get the enemy team to them. And I'm just thinking, what could you
Mumu? I
possibly...
like Mumu as well.
I like the Mumu more, I think, than the Diana. But
hey, I don't want to say too much. Maybe Moomin has been practicing this, and if this Diana gets rolling, she can be a menace, and you can really do a lot with it. But the same question as last game, and this is in chat as well. We're a bit late on this one. Who do you think won draft?
Yeah, I'm a bit undecided, honestly, because I think Jinx, Braum, Sion, great core, can do a lot. Counter, you can peel quite effectively into the champs on the side of DLM, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't see how this Annie is going to be useful though. He has to go fog and flash ult backline, because with the range of Jinx, he's gonna have a hard time reaching them. He can't just go through Braum Sion. So I think, in that sense, Green has a bit more damage in the team fights, even though they're a bit less tanky. They have Mel plus Jinx, and enemy team has Annie, who's burst mage. So I think they're gonna lack a lot of DPS. So I would slight edge to Green just on that point. It is more DPS, and should still be tanky enough to extend the fights. So I think the mid pick there was a bit of a weird one for me. I would have much rather seen some sort of control mage, but maybe it's comfort. Maybe you know, DLM's mean he loves that any matchup into the Mel. I do not know how that goes. It's too new for me. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, we will. And as the players are loading onto the Rift, I would give it to, as I say, it's equal, but I would say that Green has an easier composition to execute overall. And I think just on the basis of champions, they have the edge. And they have this late game of just Jinx being Jinx, right? However,
yeah.
I would not count out DFM either with everything they've shown last game and this composition not being bad in any way, shape, or form. Do not get me wrong. I would say that it's going to be a close one, but I would give a slight edge to Green.
Yeah, I think it's also slight edge to Green here. So it's very good for them. I mean, now they get to show what they're good at, and they're playing a teamfight comp, which is their bread and butter. The enemy doesn't really have nearly enough tools to counter. They're playing teamfight as well, so it's teamfight into teamfight, and I think then I bet Green every day of the week. I'm still a bit unsure on how the Diana's gonna play into Lulu specifically. It's a very hard champion to play into as Diana, so and also Tristan R. Don't forget knockback. So how Diana is gonna get in will be interesting. But I mean, with the Sion, they will extend the fights for a long time. So a lot of cooldowns can be blown prematurely, and then Diana definitely can wreak havoc. So it definitely has a place, and it can do stuff. So I just don't know. But we're going to find out very soon as we're going into Game 2 with Verax Green versus DLM. Yes, I think that's gonna be very interesting if Shrooms can.
It muted me again.
Yeah.
Yes, with Green coming in, wanting vengeance from that game 1, with much cleaner of a composition against DFM here, and with hopes to equalize this matchup.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna look, vengeful in this game, and I think they have a lot of good options. And here we see the summoners, we see Rip has gone Ghost and Morty has gone Exhaust. I really like Exhaust when you're playing Braum, it fits what you want to do. You want to play back, you want to peel. Exhaust kind of does that. It's really good for lane. It even further ensures that this Tristana will have no business playing any aggro, and then Lulu has Ignite. And I hate it. That's also very bad, because Lulu should not stand in Ignite range, and they're playing into a bot lane where realistically they shouldn't get kills, so I would rather play more of a teamfight summoner there, maybe the Exhaust for the Diana or heal or something. So a bit of a miss there from the support on DLM, I feel like. But other than that, Rip has gone for the Ghost, which I think is quite good. I mean, into Sack, you really need that extra movement speed to sort of be able to kite. That champ, especially when he goes bouncy bounce. So very nice from Rip. He also doesn't need barrier, because he should not fight. This should just be a farm lane. So very good summoner choices coming out from Rip. So Verax Green, they're looking strong on the summoner choices.
Yeah, I very much agree with this. Ignite does nothing for you in if you're build well, but hey, maybe he's seeing something that we're not, and this Ignite might come in useful. There was a meta.
And here we see why. Oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
There was a meta where you would go Ignite no matter what. Exhaust heal was pretty bad, with Ignite being the only good summoner for supports. But I don't think that's the case. I think you have support, you have heal that are both support, exhaust, heal that you're both good in many situations. And like I said, the Lulu, if you're in Ignite in range, you're too close.
Yeah, you're too close indeed, and here we also see why the Jinx is often so good, because he can secure push in almost every matchup, mainly depending on support matchup, but especially with the Braum. I mean, Tristan has no all-in pressure, Tristan doesn't have all-in pressure, she can't really get pushed because she has solo range, and Jinx is gonna use her rockets and secure push, so Green is gonna have a very good bot prior here in the early game, and we'll see if Moomin can use it. Right now we just see a full clear. It's actually opposite side clear. Contrary to most games, Moomin is actually pathing top side instantly this game. I'm a bit surprised. I mean, he should know that he has prior bot, so not going into that lane where he's carries is a bit of a question mark, but maybe he wants to be surprising. Maybe he feels like enemy won't expect me going top, so he wants to surprise them with an early top gank, which if he can get some kills on this Diana would definitely be very good for their comp.
Yeah, and honestly, with this pathing topside. I kind of disagree. I don't see what you can do with topside with like. Do you really want to gank this? You know, it's just tank matchups. They both want to farm, so we'll see what Moomin goes to show. But Sealand has a very, very, very good push, and actually he's winning the trade against Big Switch pretty well.
Yeah, and this is to be expected. I mean, Ornn is really good. Has really good. Yeah, I think he's going to be able to get out there. There's no CC. I mean, red buff will apply some slow here, but I think Sealand is too tanky. Yeah, he's just going to charge away. No, but Ornn has a lot of good base damages, so he's going to end up winning out most tank matchups early. It's why he's prioritized a lot by tank players.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of winning. And meanwhile, nothing's really happened though. Moomin does do a gank, which means he will be slightly slower. We see here, meanwhile, Erik, just like last game, he's just doing his full clear. He's not ganking. He's just clearing, and that means he's already doing his, you know, second rotation red side, while Moomin is just now starting it. So that gank really, Moomin has to pay a lot in terms of tempo in this early game. So this means that should be a slight CS lead going forward onto the Zac, which historically has a bit of a slower clear speed than Diana.
Yeah, and honestly, I kind of don't see the value in going for that top gank. Yes, you're shoving him out, but you're giving away your location if it wasn't already obvious to DLM, and like you're just wasting time. Like you said, there's nothing. What you want to do is to think focus here. You have some setup with Morty, you have some setup with Jinx as well, and you have to go fast before the Zac comes in.
Yeah, and they're looking to go now. I mean, they are ahead of the Zac here, so this could be a really good play from Moomin, but Polymorph's up, it's already used, and the jump away. But Flash coming out from Leopold, that is something for Verax Green, but now Moomin, he's gonna get further down the tempo. Meanwhile, there's a bit of a 1v1 in the mid lane, and Versus barely surviving. Just like Mordhun with this Anapic has seen something. A bit of a counter matchup maybe that he is aware of. But now he has to be careful though. He still has Flash. Moomin though is still looking, and yeah, no ultimate. Not much gonna happen, and I think now Moomin, he's going bot side again. He still hasn't taken his top side camps. He's getting so far.
Moomin, you are wasting so much time here. You're so far behind in CS right now. 2 full camps. Erik is level 6. And now you're going for the grubs. This is potentially disastrous for your bot lane, honestly.
Yeah. So, in this game, you have 2 junglers that really prioritize the level 6. You know, Zac mainly wants levels for E-range, so he can actually start ganking level 4 once he gets 2 points in E, he gets a bit more slingshot range, and he can start ganking. So he actually doesn't need to do full clear, but he really benefits from it because he wants almost Cinder base for the clear, and once he gets ultimate he gets down. But Diana, even more so. She really doesn't really become a champion until he gets her ult early. She can do some cheesy skirmishes sometimes if he goes aggressive summoner and kind of out the will, especially in tanks. So Moomin could have played some invade gameplay here, but more often than not, champs like this, you want a full clear, you want to just keep up tempo, you want to get level 6 as fast as possible. These ganks are a bit more of a vibe play style, and I feel like Moomin should really not be going for that, but now he's going for an invade, but he doesn't really have the prio, so he's gonna get found out, but he does secure most of those raptors, and now there's gonna be a fight. Call of the Forge God is getting called, Sealand, and this is disastrous from Verax Green. They're gonna lose 2 members already, and they're just not allowed to be there.
Ornn is first on the rotation and gets the ultimate in. Morty is not able to deny that ultimate, and with Morty going up there by letting Snakey free farm this bot lane and get 2 turret plates, you still lose the fight in the invade. It is very, very, very bad for the tempo of Green, and there's one.
Yeah, there's more coming up, and Big Fudge is trying to flash away, but this is Zac. Once he gets at level 6, once he gets, you know, those levels in the slingshot, you just see the range is so high. Sealand just barely surviving off that turret, but these Zac ganks can be very devastating. Really good use of his tempo there from DLM, and probably Erik, you know, he's still, you know, 55 CS. There's nothing to scoff at, and Rocket is missing.
Close.
But yeah, I mean, how do you feel about this game? It's not going too well. I feel like we're kind of deviating from a bit of a game plan here from the side of Green.
I don't like the top lane difference in gold right now. Oh, as actually, can they get onto Snakey? One more attack will get this done.
This will be very huge. Honestly, a bit too passive. You know, Luna has no flash. They could have gotten stunned. Ghost is still available on the Jinx. She could have run them down.
Honestly, I
at
would
least
say
force.
go here. But maybe they
They
didn't, though.
kind of need. I mean, I feel like they need to make something happen now. Like normally with their comp, they are actually the ones that need to just sit and farm. And I would say DLM have slightly more of a clock on them and needs to. They can still scale DLM. They scale quite well, so they could sit down and do nothing. But in this game, it's been very keen trying to do the proactive early game plays where they really don't need to, and they kind of just need to farm and keep up tempo. But now with that tempo difference in the jungle, I feel like they're feeling a bit forced to make these plays. And Fudge though, he's losing top side, but when you lose top lane as top laner, you can just go mid, and he does and picks up a great kill. And this is what we want to see more of. This is what a lot of top laners like Brookbow and Broken Blade talks about. Like, if you can't lane, just go mid. You don't need to stay in your lane as a tank. And there is more. The choo-choo train is all dashed away from beautifully by Zilan, but Fudge showing some proactivity, giving some life to green, crucially in this early. Oh Nero, I can't even let you talk because now Zac is ganking, it's so devastating, but the glacial finisher is good. The flashes are being blown, and it's really great that green comes out, and here we just see the effectiveness of this Braum pick.
Yeah, this Braum denied so much. Good flash from Rip as well, getting denying the what was it called? The Buster Shot Shuffle, I guess, from Snaky here. And the only thing that this gank gets are both subs from Rip, which is still a lot, don't get me wrong, but no kills. And Rip is there to pick up all the CS.
Yeah, he gets all the CS crucially, and Rip really needs to stay alive. He needs to get gold because he is the main damage now for Verax Queen. I mean, they're a bit behind now, but they're definitely not out of it. I think I still favor them in the late game, so if they can just stay off this bleeding and not let the enemy team get too many more sort of leads, they will be able to come back into this quite heavily. But, you know, DLM, they know how to play around tempo. They get this tempo lead on their jungle. Eric usually gets, you know, the faster clear speed, and with that they're able to just be faster, that much faster on rotations, and it's getting them objectives.
Yeah, and 3 for 3 when it comes to grabs. This is why I like taking them early. If you're not in a position to take them later on, like you can just let them go and say fine, it's a trade. No one really wins, and now grabs are not that much of a factor. And right now, with this Tristana pick being slightly ahead, but with this Ornn pick getting so much free time on the top side, I think 6 grubs will be devastating for green.
Yeah, it definitely is something Green would want, especially with that Sion. I mean, Sion with Grumps is super strong, and still, even though he's a tank, he can actually split push quite effectively. But now Warden is doing that. The standard still has been playing really well into Big Fudge. So we'll see if he can continue this trend. But we were focused a lot on Green, you know, pros and cons. But I mean, just going a bit over to DLM here, I feel like they've just been really great at punishing Green's mistakes. I mean, as soon as they overstep, they are playing sort of good fundamentals in their lanes, especially in this jungle with the full clearing, and we might have some trouble here. But it's not enough, and that is a bit of an overstep. But now, Moomin, he wants to trade it, but Zac, he has that passive. He's gonna stay alive, and Moomin, he tries to get something back, but Zac passive is the bane of many players, and it's gonna be Moomin's today.
Good W from Versus, very, very good, but it's just too much CC, too much damage coming in from everyone, and this is going to mean that the dragon will be taken for the size of DLM.
Yeah, it will go over to them, and I mean, we do talk about Green, you know, they have slightly stronger late game, but it's a very slightly... So they might look to contest, because if they give up Drake's ult, they won't have that making one condition anymore. And that's a steal for Rip with a great sap. He takes the dragon. Now, in the ensuing fight, can they escape, or will they look to turn? Remember, no Diana ult. Facial Fissure used defensively. He misses the blast goal. This is disaster. But Sneaky might go a bit too far, but no, he has the wild growth to support him. And that was almost clean, but a bit of a misexecution. And Ruben pays for it with his life.
Misclick. Oh, there's more.
Oh, there is more. Cyan is going again for Mordhunden. He has seen this once before. This is deja vu, but this time he has flash and is able to run away. But still, you know, Big Fudge, he's doing an amazing job with his map moves and really trying to use these Cyanols objectively to let him give his team some breathing room.
Yeah, and Moomin misses the blast cone. Unfortunately, pays for it with his life. Sneaky managed to actually deny the knockback with his old Buster Shot. So you get the Drake, sure, which is always good. But there is, you lose up on the fight again, and now this Tristana has a kill. Now this Zac is sitting at 0-0-5. He's being very, very strong, getting tanky, and this Diana is not really doing much, not doing what he wanted it to.
Yeah, but still just really great coming out from Sneaky. You know, you can see that he practices his champion so like, no fear. He just keeps going forward. When that blast gun is missed, he doesn't hesitate and just W's in. He knows the cooldowns are down. He knows he has his Lulu to back him up, and he just nets that kill with full confidence. But now, speaking of confidence, it looks like Big Forge had a bit too much and is forced to use the flash to get away from this gank, but he's gonna be able to waddle away.
Now this gives the green rune. Yeah, this gives rare green. Oh, great. Green some.
Why is it so hard to say breathing room?
I don't know. Breathing room. On the bot side to potentially look for a play. They elect not to. They saw the Eric top lane, so maybe there wasn't a window for them to go in. But Rip and Motvind elected to just take a chill for now and just get that Jinx scaled up. 150 CS in 15 minutes, 10 CS per minute, very, very good. She's in exactly the point where you want to be.
Yeah, and I mean, Rip, he's really going on the Jinx. We see it there with the confidence of stealing the Drake with the sap. He's a bit careful here, but we know that if Rip gets his item and he gets to play team fights, he's really good at positioning and, you know, actually carrying fights. So if he can just keep his farm up and the game stays relatively even, I would be watching him, and I think he's going to give us a show.
Such a slow game. It feels like a lot is happening in the past 15 minutes, but we've only had 7 kills, which I was looking at LCK the other day, finals, you know, what was it? I think
maybe
it was
not comparable, but
HLE versus Gen G. Finals, man.
Yeah.
Supports both enchanters. 38-minute game, 12 kills, 10,000 gold lead, 12 turret kills, sorry, and then 6 champion kills in 38 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely no LGK, but it seems like people do tend to play a bit slower these days, and when enchanters start becoming into the meta, that's very good. But look, Mepo is face checking, and then now Sneak is going in 1v3, but with the wild drop, he ends up being set, but they're so low. The super mega death rocket is not causing any death today, and now Rip, he needs to carry back. This Zac is so tanky, he's healing so much, and they were so close to getting kills. That was horribly played, sorry, by got there from DLM, but they had the champions, they had the extra lives, and they were able to get out. And just a bit more better skill shots. The Green would have come out with some kills, but in the end, no one ends up dropping.
We're back to LCK, boys. 3v3 bot lane, everything blown, all ultimates, all flashes blown. Okay.
Braum still has an exhaust.
True, and he didn't use flash. The glacial official did go to Narnia though, so.
Yeah, but I mean, the ult is just so powerful enough to stop them, and again, the Braum pick is just so strong here. Like, Tristana can never jump in, especially not alone. Like,
no way.
He doesn't do anything. And even, I think, even if she got exhausted, Rip would have not even taken that much damage and could have potentially
We're gonna get a third kill.
and then turned if he had a bit more health. But I mean, still, I mean, Morty's playing very well with his ultimates here, and he's keeping Rip alive for so long, and Rip using his summoners when he needs to is very good. I've seen too many AD carries, thinking like, oh, I want to save my flash. Oh no, and it's like, if you're dead, your flash is useless, so use it. So very nice from it, but they were chunked, they were late on the reset, and this means that Dragon is on the table for DLM. But what will happen next, then we don't know, because, look at Green, they are not really looking to this. The bot lane was checking it out of it, they're looking for a steal again, but it's not gonna happen. Meanwhile, the grubs are being taken by the Diana and Flash. Oof. What do you think about this objective trade now? We're in a bit of a different game. I know you liked the last game, trading grubs for Drake, but this type of game, how do you feel? Or Herald, rather.
I like it. This is the first raid that was taken in this game. The Herald take is very, very, very good for the side of Green. You get the first turret, you get the get gold from that, you get the Herald. I think this is a net positive for Green.
So I believe this is supposed to second Drake taken, because Rip stole the other one, but it's not updating on the...
Fair enough. I was looking at the scoreboard, yeah, it's not updating. And it is going to be the Mountain Rift, true.
Yes, so there was, it's 1-for-1 in Drake, so it's quite even, and as long as,
No flash
we can
is on
deny, no flash drive. Exhaust is up, Glacial Fissure is up, so they maybe cannot play this, but can Rip dodge the slingshot. If he gets hit by it, he will die, and he gets hit by it. But that's a great Glacial Fissure though, coming up from Morty, but it's not enough, and that's a great, well-executed dive by DLM. Now, will they be punished though? Moomin is here, Green is here, back. Cell division is popped and Morty is untouched in this fight, and yeah, they get the turret, gives them one, but I don't think it will be worth it. That's double kill though, coming up from Versus, doing quite a lot of work with this green turret, and so far it's a 3-for-2 in slight favor of DLM. They do get the turret as well, so I think still they're going to be happy with that play. As Tristana is now sitting on 3 kills, but the slingshot though, being used on Versus is quite low, and now the assault coming in, and I think that's going to be all she rolls, but the W, no, it's too early! It's too early, almost lived, but he ends up dying. He mistimed the bomb charge.
Oh, that's tragic. Regardless, it's a 2 kills in favor of Green, 4 kills in favor of DLM and the turret. So DLM just winning on the fight. Overall, the dive was good. Rip died immediately, and even though you're under the enemy turret, the response from Green was too late, and without Rip, there's not really enough damage. This 0 and 3, Diana is not doing enough to really pressure DLM much.
Yeah, and but the great punish by DLM, they know Jinx had no summers, they tracked it very well, and then they immediately called for, setting up that dive, and it's beautiful to watch. And, if you're really in that situation, if your AD carry has no summers, he really needs to be covered at all times. Protect the President is the name of the game for Verax Green, but I think this play was just good setup from the side of DLM.
Yeah, but you can't do much, honestly, with... the only thing you can do is work better in that situation, because if Mr. Zach jumps onto the Jinx, it's over.
Yeah, it's over indeed. Now we see a bit of a 1-1 now. Fudge, he lost the earlier ones, but now he's feeling confident. He has 2 items. Ryan does scale a bit better in 1v1s in Orn because of that infinite health scaling, but so far it looks fairly even, just a wet noodle fight between 2 tanks.
Yeah, we love wet noodle fights. What else? How else are you gonna play the game but wet noodle fights? I almost said
it is the best.
Sorry.
Oh no, Dennis being again almost 1v1 by Morton, and honestly this AD pick, I was skeptical. I don't think he's gonna do a lot of team fights, but in the 1v1 he's really beating out this man.
Speaking of 1v1s, Tibbers is going at it against the Atakan. No Atakan's taken in any of the games today, but can the Tibbers get it?
It's fitting though. I feel like Tibbers went a bit Leroy Jenkins there, and it's like, I just wanna aggro the boss. Raid boss is gonna be aggro.
With such a low kill game, this is the true action happening. Come on, Tibbers, you got this. I believe in you. Nah.
You just had a dive on bot side. Come on, man. This is high action. Here, oh, fireworks, I like. Oh, it died. Oh. Okay, no, but I want to take stock of this game. Let's get back to it. DLM now has a 3k gold lead over Verax Green, and I mean, if you DLM here, you kind of want to just keep accelerating this. I feel like as they try. So with this mid lane, not much gonna come from it.
This is gonna be the second dragon for DLM. Third one of the match. The UI is incorrect, not updated yet. But we're gonna see the bottom. Actually, fun going in deep with this Shelly, but managed to get the kill. Motvind gets the credit, but here comes Sion.
Oh, Sion, that's a good flash from Bippo, but that's no flash Lulu. She could be a potential target, but Sion ult is down. The slingshot is gonna go wide, but the Q does hit. But that's a really good unbreakable. It's a great reach for Fisher. Morty buying so much time from his team. But now, Big Botch is attacking just everyone, but Morty ends up going down, and Rip, he does end up getting some good damage, but I don't think he has done it, but that's a great Super Mega Death Rocket, and Grip crucially picks up 1 kill, and even though they're a bit behind, the strength of this Brawl pick, brilliantly executed by Morty, is just buying so much time. Meanwhile, Motvind is just taking this mid turret for free.
Yeah, he has to back off, but as you say, a good front-to-back fight from Green. The only question mark I have there is, what is this Diana doing? She did not do much. She's not tanky. It's not a frontline. She can't assassinate anyone, and it's just, it feels like there's TP coming in actually. Oh, Rip was caught shopping.
Oh, Rip, you cannot recall that far forward, and this is disastrous from Green. They finally got a ray of hope in this game, but they're squandering it again by just overstaying. Greedy recall coming out from Verax Rip.
And you're on 2 wards. This was all lit up for DLM, and on the other side, there is almost, you cannot recall in the center of mid with this vision.
Yeah, but luckily for Green, we saw that their 3k go down, but they're still able to sort of, you know, hold to their own in these fights. And I mean, imagine this Jinx having items, having 3-4 items in a fight like this, they could still definitely win this game as long as Jinx gets her item. They don't even need Diana at this point. Brom was just buying so much time. Like, DLM just cannot reach the backline. The problem right now is that Jinx just doesn't have the damages to solo carry a fight, so they need to buy more time for Rip to get to that point. But in order to do that, they cannot afford to get caught like this.
Yeah, true. And all things considered, Green is not in a disastrous spot yet. The Dragon Steal that happened earlier by Rip bought them 5 minutes of extra time where they can get more money into this Jinx. Funnel everything, all money that you can, funnel it into that Jinx and protect her. Yes, she's behind the Tristana. Yes, Tristana has the ornament, has 3 items, and is stronger than Jinx right now, but that's the only ray of hope that you have, is this Jinx getting excited and getting that fight.
But also, I look at the DLM, I feel like that fight was a bit of a mistake, because you know you have the problem, you know you can't just run back in, but I have to pause that thought as now Motvind looking for a pick on this bottom lane, and Verax finally gets some vengeance in this matchup. It wasn't 1v1, but Motvind, great punish there on the side lane.
Yeah, that's good, that's what you need as well. 35 seconds now on the death timer. You can use that to get more pressure on Thompson, but actually it's the opposite.
Sneaky is looking for Big Fudge. He's all alone. He's quite tanky. So Wilson, but Morty is here for backup. He's using Great Fish early, but that means no one is protecting the Jinx. You're peeling for your tank, and that means the Jinx has no peeling. She cannot walk up, and they just take a fight when they really don't need to. And this is disastrous for Green. They're gonna end up dropping, and this means Baron is gonna be on the cards for DLM.
Yeah, as you say, disaster strikes with Rip completely unprotected. As this TP comes in, I do want to look at the replay of the fight because we didn't catch the entirety of it.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the bane of ADC. Honestly, like, you wanna help your team, but if your team is not peeling, you can't. So it's kind of one of those situations where if you can't join a fight and you can't auto attack, don't, because you're going to just die. And we started the Replay just here with the kill.
Yeah, and now with Big Fudge being caught out, it's an annoying position, sure, but Big Fudge is so tanky. 4 members of everyone just riding on top of him, but look at Rip, he's completely alone. Knockup comes on and Sneaky just jumps on and like there's nothing. It's such a bad position from him and there's nothing that anyone can do. He goes down and without Rip, there's no damage. There is nothing that Green can do as they lose this fight.
I mean, I think as the Braum here, you can never afford to use your ultimate to peel for the tank, even though he's caught and you might say that you need to save it for the Jinx rather. But one unlucky thing there is that if those chompers were positioned just I think a pixel or a fraction a bit more to the right, he would have blocked the Tristana jump. But it was just behind him when he jumped, so it didn't get cancelled. So he could have still have it. But yeah, still.
You cannot rely on that. You cannot. Morty needs to be on this. Like, these two should not be more than a flash distance away. They need to be a team. Morty needs to stick on Rip, needs to protect him like a baby's cradle for this Jinx to do any damage, because as soon as she's popped, anything that flies on her, anything that touches her, you need to save your ultimate for the Eric's engage. You need to save your wall for the knockup from the Ornn coming in from the Ornn Horn. You need to give this to Jinx. You need to give all the money to Jinx. Everything around this Jinx. Otherwise,
oh no, you can't do this though. You don't have the pylon. You cannot face check into jungle. And now they're fighting. Yes, they're getting a good front to back. So if they can get out, it's good. But they don't have the damage. There's just too much of a gold difference right now. And I mean, they need to scale, but they can't walk up.
Yeah, and again, it's just a loss of a fight because you get caught out in the jungle. And yes, only Morty goes down. It's not the end of the world, but this gives... Oh no. Chris charging, slingshot finds nothing, but still, good Baron push coming in from DLM, and this is where they want to be. Now they're looking for Fudge at the bottom, and we've seen this before. Fudge is tanky, but not tanky enough.
Yeah, that's just a good rotation. They find out, Lumen is going in though, but he's not getting much. The Tristana is quite low though, so can he do something? He's desperately trying, but he's just gonna get ping-ponged away. And I think that was a bit of miscommunication. Lumen went in, but the rest of Green, they didn't really want to go. And
this smells of desperation though. I think Green is falling apart again as it did last game. They're getting caught out into the jungle. Players are running in where they should not. And right now, this game exploded into a 9k gold lead from the side of DLM.
Yeah, and I mean, I think after that Baron fight was when disaster struck as well, because now when you have this Baron, DLM is beautifully just showcasing how to push a lead. You know, even though you have Jinx and Mel, they have good wave clear, they cannot clear Baron minions, and they're just pushing in mid, rotating into bot side, killing the tank under turret. And I feel like if you read, I don't hate the, you know, feeling of wanting to fight like under a turret or something, because they're feeling that they're just gonna keep bleeding too much gold now with the Baron being taken. So, you know, if they're gonna committing under a turret or something could be good, but they just went way too late and way too split. Like if they're gonna, you know, sit and farm, they sit and farm. But all in all now, you know, those props to DLM, they're putting their foot on the gas pedal and just extending this gold lead, and now they're taking Atakan already. They should not give Green any chance to breathe.
They have soul, so our UI is completely wrong. So DLM
we're gonna have to pause it there because the Forge Guard is popped. They have the Atakan revive. It's been such a low kill game. It's feel action heavy, but it's so low kill that the revive Atakan is being picked up, and that's so rough now for Green. I don't know what they're going to do. Fudge is splitting. Yeah, Fudge needs the base though. He can't be splitting now. His team is gonna get the dived. And Morty, you know, he's buying time. Rip does have 3 items, but he doesn't have any armor pen. These tanks, he's not gonna shred them anytime soon. He's still not on that time. He's got 3 items, but he's got 3 items way too late. The speed of this game has just accelerated out of control. You have 4 items. Just on now, yeah, it's late. He's gonna be able to complete it though, but there is no ult of this Braum, which means that it's free backline access for the side of DLM, and they're just gonna use their wallet diff to laugh in Green's face. And you know, this game looked more promising for Verax game, but all props to DLM. They showed Green that we can play teamfight as well. We're gonna do it better than you, and they definitely showed their skill here today.
And it's a 2-0 victory for DLM. First game showcasing an insane draft diff, and second game going into just playing the better teamfight composition and winning the day.
Yeah, winning the day indeed, and I guess today is Motvind and the Dragons are lifting. As we were saying, but well played to the Dragons and Green. You know, game one, I don't really want to blame them. It was just the enemy team had their number in drafts. They had the better preparation on the day, and so there's not much you can do. I think game two, they had their chances. They showed really good adaptations. They did some good plays, but I think they just kind of fell apart. They didn't stick to their game plan well enough like they normally do, and so they ended up losing this game. And Tristana on the enemy team, we see why he likes it. He was 12-0. I think he did very well on the pick. Maybe got some things that he shouldn't have, but in the end, all props gonna have to go today from DLM. We're a bit sad, of course, but they played well. They deserve the praise.
Yeah,
and you can now, I believe, you can vote for player of the game as well.
Who would you give it to?
That's a good question.
I would say
actually.
Yeah, go. I would say Zach.
I'm thinking. Yeah, I think Zach and Gagers were more
Eric
impactful.
Yeah, pro player
Eric just.
He was where he needed to be. He did not die. He went into Cell Division once or twice the entire game, sitting at 2-0-16, just setting his team up so well. Now, not to discredit anyone else, the DLM showed up. They played insanely well, and they deserve this win today in going 2-0. But I would say the standout was for me, Eric.
Yeah, I think he played really well. He did exactly what he needed to do. He stuck to his fundamentals. He used tempo really well in both games to actually get stuff on the map, get those early dragons, because he realized that he has he's just clearing faster, either because he has the better champ for it or because Moomin was ganking too much. And that's a great map read, and he used that really well to carry his team. And then I think Morty, he was a bit of a sneaky, was the beneficiary of that tempo lead. He got a lot of kills, but a lot of them was, even though as an AD carry man, I want to say he carried, but also he got a lot of freebies. So to be fair, so I would give it to the jungler as well. But Snaky played really well as well.
Chat is disagreeing with us and giving it to Silence, so the Ornn.
Silin, the Ornn player. Okay.
Look, man, I'm not disagreeing with it. Silin played well. Those Ornn horns were on point. So it's actually tied, both Silin and pro player Eric at the same time, getting three picks each. But also I want to shout out, just to go back to our first game, Lasins actually won their second game, going 2-0 in the day, and actually getting to that first spot in the group after week 3. So congrats to you guys.
Congrats to Lasins, they played very well. So I guess Verax is showing up, still on the day. So that's very nice to hear. And for Green, I think they're still, they had a bad day. I wouldn't count them out in the season at all.
DLM had a good day, man. They played really well as well.
Yeah. I think both teams have a lot of things to watch and learn from these games. There were mistakes on both sides that did not need to happen. But yeah, honestly, I thought it was two very entertaining games, even though the first one was maybe a bit lopsided. But the second one had a lot of good moments from both teams, and I'm happy. It was a good game back, except for I really enjoyed the bootleg. It was very comical for me, but I know it's quite stressful.
Yeah, nothing to learn here. Perfect games. No mistakes from either teams. GG. If you're confused, I'm answering Snake Man in the chat.
I saw.
Did you guys? Sorry to ask, Snake Man. Did you play today, or are you from the staff?
I think it's Snaky, the ADC, right? It
Okay,
feels like the
that
name
would make
is
sense. That would make sense. Oh, it's Snake. It's not Sneaky. Ah.
Oh yeah.
Is it
But I
Sneak-
told you it was an
Oh
A.
man, it's Snake. I am fucking stupid.
But we talked about this at the beginning.
Yeah, I was
But,
calling
man.
him Snake, but then I didn't see. Man, well played though. Well played.
But you were calling him. You called him correctly. What do you mean?
I don't know, man.
I'm
Brain
confused.
farted. Okay. GG's though. Well played, guys.
Yeah, very
from your
GG, sir.
perspective.
Well played, guys. Yeah.
But yeah, with that, I think we're concluded for today. Thank you everyone for joining. It was a fun few games with some bootleg technical difficulties, but we got through it.
Yeah. Thank you for production. Normally, I think we're pretty good considering, but today was a bit of yeah.
Our main
Happens.
production man just lost the games. And I'm here sitting casting in production as well. So you when he's the MVP really, but for now, goodbye
Yeah.
everyone.
Goodbye. Have a good evening.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me. Hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight.